Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, the world's biggest Harry Kane fan. And tonight we bring you the fan show where we want to hear from you guys. Come on and have your say on all things Tottenham, the result at the weekend. You've got the big trip to Anfield coming up. Are we still in top four? There's lots of news talk about Alfie Devine, Scarlett. Rumours today that they're going to be sent out on loan next season. Where would you like them to be sent out on loan, which will help their development? A lot to get to. Of course, we are joined by, as always, co-host Jack. Jack, how are you keeping, my man?
Keeping pretty good, Dave. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like crunch time week, Dave. You know, we can't really speculate, about maybe this upcoming game before the Liverpool and Arsenal game. Maybe we have a roadblock there. We finally have come to the crunch time. Kind of 2 weeks here. And Dave, I guess we just got to strap in. And I'm looking forward to seeing what all the Harris Army has to say. So everybody with that badge, want to see what you guys have to say. Want to guide me through these kind of 2 weeks, Dave. They're going to be very strenuous, very stressful, and I want to see what all the members have to say. And everybody, really do appreciate you all for tuning in as well. But it's also in the chats. It's pinned in the comments. Everybody, grab that membership if you haven't already to come on, as well as support the channel, but also to see in the community section to hit that link and come on as well.
No, 100%. But look, guys, what I'd say to everybody out there, decent win at the weekend. And look, now, Anfield is not a happy hunting ground whatsoever. We do not have a good record up there. I mean, we are going into the Lions. Then we have to remember, they will not want to lose. They are going for a Premier League title. They will have every reason to turn up against us and try and beat us. I know they have a European game. And all, but look, I don't think that matters. I think they'll put out the strongest possible squad and they'll go for it. And as we know, Liverpool are a very good team. We are going to be up against it, but we've got Antonio Conte, and he will know how to set them up, hopefully, the tactics. And look, to be honest with you, Jack, I mean, we have to remember back to the draw we had with them earlier on in the season. We created a lot of chances. We could have easily bet them that day and nicked that game, For me, I wouldn't be going in there fearing the worst. I think we'd definitely be going in there giving them a game, and I think they'll know that as well. I think they'll expect us to go up there and give them a game. It's another game that could suit the likes of a Kulusevski, a Son, a Kane. And we also have Bentancur and Kulusevski. They could be the difference this time between, trying to pick up a point or a win compared to a loss. Yeah. So I would not write it off. I would go in there with optimism. As small as it is, I would go in there with optimism. And the same weekend, Arsenal play Leeds. That's not a given. Leeds are right in that relegation battle now. They will be scrapping for points. So top four is not over yet. Arsenal also have Everton last game of the season. Again, another team who I'm hoping will be scrapping for points. And I know I've seen Ray Parlour come out and say today on TalkSport that, Arsenal and Everton could make an agreement that, if a point suits both, they'll just settle for a point. Well, I hope that backfires. I hope Everton need the win. I hope Arsenal need the win, to be honest with you. And Everton give them a right good go. But look, we have the North London derby to put things right. If we pick something up at Anfield, I think the momentum changes towards us, to be honest with you, because it's a hunting ground where Arsenal probably don't expect us to pick up points. I'd say they're expecting us to lose points. But Jack, do you still believe we can get top four, or are you a bit disheartened after West Ham's result yesterday, or after Arsenal's result at West Ham yesterday?
Yeah, it's just, I think the more disappointing thing, Dave, is just three teams that we kind of just expected, to help us out. Three teams that we thought, could probably do us a favor. Just none of them could, find it within themselves to do it. I said this before, couldn't, trust Chelsea to hold the door for me. Probably felt the same way with, the likes of, West Ham. But I don't know, Dave, just the fact that none of those three could pull off any sort of result against Arsenal. It's not even like Arsenal played that spectacularly in, any three of those games, to be fair. Maybe they were better in some of them, but it's not like they really played tremendously, in any way. So I think what I'm more kind of disheartened by, Dave, is just all the freebies that they were given right when they were down. And I spoke about it, I think, a long time ago, Dave, actually, probably a few weeks ago, when I said what I really didn't like about, Arsenal getting that result against the likes of Chelsea was it just kind of felt like just when, it was their perfect time, just to kind of be shut down, just when you felt like it was the perfect time for them to lose all hope, to lose all momentum. They just were given, a new kind of breath of fresh air, a new kind of lease of on life. And it just, I don't know, Dave, it just when we needed the rest of the league to do their job, they couldn't do it for us.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, I very rarely expect favours from London teams. In fact, they haven't helped us this season whatsoever, to be honest with you. I mean, well, in fairness, the only ones that helped us were Crystal Palace. look, I just hope that defeat to Brighton does not come back and haunt us, to be honest, or that failure to win at Brentford does not come back to haunt us. I think it very well could, but I still believe, look, I am a bit gutted that West Ham weren't able to pick up a result yesterday. But I look at Arsenal fixtures, they've got Leeds this weekend scrapping for points, Everton scrapping for points, Newcastle on a bit of a high, and they've also got us. So, I mean, I'm still not giving up hope. I still believe. As for Dane Scarlett and Alfie Devine, I want them to go somewhere where they're going to get minutes, to be honest with you. I would like it to be. It doesn't look, they could go anywhere. I don't care. I just want them to get minutes on the pitch to aid their development. Dane Scarlett needs minutes on the pitch just to be able to get to grips with playing with men. He needs to get to find his goal scoring touch, find a bit of confidence, then hopefully come back the season after. Because the guy's a real talent. Same as Alfie Devine. I really, really like this guy. I mean, he came on and scored in that FA Cup game against Marine, didn't he? If I remember correctly, And again, I think getting a good loan spell underneath him will do well. I think it's better for them than playing in the under-23s. Look, the under-23s will only get you so far, 17, 18. Yeah. Maybe if you're a late developer, 19. But after that, then you need to be getting out on loan. You need to get them games. Under 23s is not competitive whatsoever. There's no, it's just a lot of passing about. No one's really flying in with tackles and all that sort of stuff. And you'll see what I mean next season when Spurs start showing it on their Spurs now anyway. But, they need to get out and get the minutes, 100%. But look, we'll see what Irish Hotspur Army are in the chat with us, and then we'll crack on and start getting on the fans and see what they have to say. We've got KPV in the building and in the back end. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Moondog's in the house. Come on, you Spurs. Good win yesterday, Moondog. Pick yourself up. Hope you're keeping well. Still no dire goal, but hang in there. It will happen before the end of the season. I can feel it, my man. I can feel it. Big up, Moondog. Who knows? Could nick one from a set piece at Anfield. Who knows, Moondog? Anthony Gray says, Liverpool versus Tottenham, time for a Conte masterclass. In Conte, we trust. Look, it's definitely time for a Conte masterclass. Look, I have a bit of optimism going into this game because Conte does try to play the right way, but he's old school. He knows how to pick up results. I mean, it would be interesting to see what formation we play going into that game, though, whether we stick to 3-4-3 or go 3-5-2 like he did when we played them at home. It'd be very interesting. Jack, what do you think he preferred to do against Liverpool, 3-5-2 or 3-4-3?
I don't know, Dave. I think the only thing we could take a bit of result and maybe a bit of solace from and a bit of hope and delusion from, you could say, Dave, is the fact that he somehow got a result and somehow, made Tanguy and Dele Alli and Harry Winks in a midfield three, somehow look and make sense. Somehow he made that work, Dave. I have no idea. It just looked disgusting on paper. Didn't look like it would work on grass either, but somehow it did, Dave. And, somehow he's able to get a tune out of them. That makes me think that Antonio Conte can certainly maybe get a tune out of the squad when it comes to this Saturday, or I guess, this Saturday. Absolutely, Dave. But that would be my answer. 3-5-2, maybe at the time it made most sense considering I think the squad that we had available, we didn't have a deep squad available. So the 3-5-2 was what he went with. I imagine he'll go back to the 3-4-3 still. It will really look like like a 5-4-1 really on paper is what I would imagine. But yeah, Dave, I would expect Conte certainly can have the players geared up for this one because he somehow was able to get a tune out of Tanguy for it.
No, I think they will. Look, all noises coming out of the camp that apparently they're all for it. They really want this, so we'll see against Anfield. Anfield, look, they answered my questions. How badly do they want it? Who's the leaders? I got them answers against Leicester, against the Foxes. So now let's take it to Anfield and see who really wants it. That's the crunch time. So, and look, I just want a good performance from Tottenham. I don't want to go up there and crumble. My biggest fear is Davies and Dyer. I just think they're very slow. And Jack, we've seen it over the last couple of games. In fact, we've seen it all throughout their time in their career. Don't get me wrong. I remember Ben Davies having an absolute stormer under Jose Mourinho. I think, funny enough, it was actually at Anfield. But my biggest problem with them is that, Jack, they can get caught flat-footed at times. They can get caught not on their toes.
Yeah.
We've given away sloppy passes or under-hit passes. And if we do that against Liverpool, they're going to absolutely put us to bed. They'll be on it like flies, and it'll be 1-2 before you know it in the back of the net. That's how quickly they can break. So we can't afford to do that. They have to stay switched on for 90 minutes. I think Antonio Conte would probably spend most of the 90 minutes just screaming at them to keep them switched on, to be honest. William McKenzie rewatching the show after work. The season is getting to the juicy part now. Come on, you Spurs. And this
Exactly,
is what
William.
it's all about. Look, I keep saying this. Most other clubs, most other teams' season were over last month. They're just playing out the remainder of the season, just waiting to
Yeah.
go to Dubai or Abu Dhabi on wherever they like to go on their holidays. Maybe some to Las Vegas. But like with Tottenham, no matter what it is, we always are in there till the end, and we're still scrapping and that. And look, I always say it's not about the size of the dog; it's about the size of the fight in the dog. And hopefully, we can use that mentality going up to Anfield. But look, it's exciting. And if we cannot handle the pressure for a top four race, we will never handle the pressure of being able to win trophies. And we have to get that right in the fan base, because if we under contest, say next season, if we do have a good transfer window and we do end up getting into a cup final, and fans are going into it nervous and all, Tottenham, Spursy, Bottleham, all this sort of crap, it will rub off on the players. We also have to change our mentality. You have to learn to deal with these games when there's a lot of pressure riding on them. Big up, William. Got the regular in the house. Big up, everyone. Come on, you Spurs. Got to beat the Scousers. That we do, my man. Good to see you in. To Bolton Duda, greetings, everyone. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up to Bolton Duda.
It's good to see you. We've got Nick Hermalock. Good evening, lads. Man United winning 1-0. Look, I think they're gone out of top four, to be honest with you. I'm not really concerned about Man United. And to be honest, Mick, although Ronaldo did have a goal ruled out, which I was actually very surprised about. I thought they were going to spend another 30 seconds, maybe another 30 minutes looking for a reason to give it. So I was actually very surprised about that, Mick. So I was. Ben Kaufman, can you smell what the Kauf is cooking? Evening, everyone. Cannot take part tonight, but looking forward to hearing from everyone. Well, Benji, I hope you had a good birthday weekend, my man. Hopefully you didn't go too wild. Hopefully you got back to work in one piece. But honestly, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you had a good weekend, Ben. Hope you had a good weekend.
Hopefully you had a good espresso to recover yourself with, Ben, because it's definitely probably a wild weekend, and then you need the best and finest of the coffee espresso to be able to recover, my man.
And I'd say Ben has a wild side to him. He could have got up to anything at the weekend, so he could have. William Pretty says we can get a result against Liverpool because they have to play the second leg of the Champions League. Top is not over. No, 100% we can get a result. Look, I think they'll just roll out the best squad. Look, even if they take out Mane or Salah, they're just going to put in Diaz anyway. He's a terrific player. And, they'll bring in Jota. So it doesn't matter if they rotate. They have the players to be able to do it, William Pretty. And they still put in a performance. We've seen that with Liverpool over the years, to be fair to them. And I hate them. Believe me, I absolutely hate them. That's why it's LiVARpool and capital VAR in the title. Instructions were put out. It has to be done like that because I hate them that much. Tottenham Tantrum Goal says, ladies and gentlemen, live from the best county in the world, Kildare, Ireland, with hundreds watching and thousands worldwide. There's only one thing left to say. Let's get this party started. Absolutely love that.
Best county in your opinion, Dave?
Huh?
Best county in your opinion?
I thought you said penalty. I just seen Ronaldo diving there. Sorry, Jack. No, it is best county in Ireland for me. Look, it's where the Cora is. It's the home of the army. The army, Jack. It's a great county, home of horse racing. And plus, we're right beside the capital where we have to listen to them whiny people as well. We put up with a lot, Jack, but we hold our own. So yeah, it is the best county. Matt C says Romero's class. That's all I have to say. Big up, Romero. He's unbelievable, Matt.
Nothing more to say, Matt.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. I just couldn't believe it. Wembley won in the house. Evening, guys. Have we all got big sofas to hide behind on Saturday night? Two teams, no slow playing out from the back. Will be suicide. 5 in midfield, including Kane, Son, and Bergie running up top. First of all, this whole slow thing out from the back. Look, in fairness, didn't happen too much against Leicester whatsoever. But yeah, we can't do that. That's exactly what I was saying. Even just being caught flat-footed, or doing things at walking pace. Some of them Liverpool forwards, they're just like flies, like little whippets, and they'll just nick it off them. And I'd be very surprised if Jurgen Klopp hasn't identified that already and set up a plan to be able to take advantage of that. I'd be very surprised, Jack.
Yeah. No, and to be honest, Dave, I feel like they get away with a lot of, fouls as well, to be fair, like with how much they press, because teams like that, since they press so often, it feels like maybe referees even almost get used to that sort of kind of style that they implement, so they can even get away with maybe one on a certain player, and then it can just lead to a huge chance for them. We've even seen teams, Dave, that are excellent in possession, and I must admit, at one stage or another, I kind of thought maybe even Arsenal could have, maybe be able to beat that press, Liverpool's.
Yeah,
But I mean, what happened, Dave? I mean, 20, 25 minutes in, all of a sudden, they couldn't get out of their own half, and, they were just
yeah,
giving the ball away every single second. So I think just most teams coming up against that Liverpool press, Dave, you kind of just have to swallow your pride, maybe go for a bit of the long ball, more often than you would like to. And just
mm,
hopefully you have, the right sort of long ball, put in. You don't just, hoofing it for hoofing its sake, but
yeah.
which players you're trying to hit. And you might just have to swallow the pride and just play a bit differently.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Big up Wembley, everyone. Good to see you in. Big up Derek Hutchinson said, good evening, David and Jack. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 2. Come on, you
Pick
Spurs.
up
Loving
Derek.
the optimism. I'm loving it. Look, we are up against it, but I am loving the optimism. Welsh Gal says, big up, lads, and all the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army. Big up, Welsh Gal. Good to see you. Loving that badge
Legend.
beside your name, by the way. Loving it. Dermot also completes it. He says, in the green and gold corner, he comes from, no, he's giving me double. He comes from Kildare, Ireland. He's the undisputed, undefeated Spurs and Ireland fan in the world. The one and only David Harry Kane, Irish Hotspur Harris. He really is on overtime today. I love it. I love it. Big up, Dermot. Amir Sardar says, of course we can. We should have beaten them at home. Big up, everyone in the house. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Amir.
Big up, Amir. I hope you're keeping well, my man.
Love that big badge as well, Amir. Love that big badge. Maybe come on, Amir, if you're not too busy, my man. Maybe come on if you're not too busy. We'd love to speak to you. Love talking to Amir.
We would. It looks glorious. Ricky Nado's in the building. Evening, brothers. Great show as always. We can get a result at Liverpool if show same desire and passion as showed on Sunday and show no fear. Come on, you Spurs. And that's the biggest one. Go up there and play with belief and conviction. If you don't have the conviction, you will never pull it off. And every time you go forward, you'll be tripping and you just give away possession. You've got to go up there and believe in Harry Kane and Son and Kulu. And they've got to believe in what they're doing. You go up there with conviction, shock results can happen. And to be honest with you, I would love absolutely nothing more to beat them and ring all of my friends, ring my niece, who's only 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years of age, one of them, and ring my sister's boyfriend-in-law and just give them absolutely stick. I would absolutely love it if they lost. So hopefully we can pull off the upset, Ricky. Big up. Daniel Larson's in the house. Hi, David and Jack and chat. Jack, did you get my email?
I did, and he's hopping on and looking forward to it, Dave. We got a good debut coming from an absolute legend in Daniel. Looking forward to it.
No, we do. I'm looking forward to hear what he has to say. So I am. Isan's in the building and in the background. Big up, Isan. Hope you're keeping well. Mr. Watty, Michael, big up, my man. Hope you're keeping well. Good evening, gents and lasses. Let's hope we catch Liverpool on the break once or twice and their five effing offensive monstrosities have a bad day. Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. It'd be nice if there was like some sort of like stomach bug going around or a dodgy lasagna situation for them. That'd be absolutely awesome, my man. Big up, Mr. Watty. Hope you're keeping well. We've got Escapone. He says, big up, Davide and Jackie. I think we could go and get a result in LiVARpool. Absolutely love it. I believe too, my man. Catman Jess says, big up, David and Jack and the Harris Flat Cap Army. Big up, lad. Matty Hayes in the building. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Matt. Hope you're keeping well. I hope you did enjoy your trip. Hope you enjoyed your auntie's cooking. I absolutely missed that, to be honest with you. It was absolutely unbelievable, the stuff she made. But big up, Matty. Hope you're keeping well. Who else have we got? Big up, Welsh guy. We've got the Spurs fan. Spurs let me down, but Ronnie doesn't. Go on, Ron. Congrats. Spurs haven't let you down this weekend, my man. We haven't let you down this weekend. Andy Midge says we are almost guaranteed to lose to Liverpool, and Arsenal will probably win against Leeds, so we are 5 points down going into the derby, which means we will need to win that and the rest of our games 100%. But Andy, I believe they will have a slip up. I can feel it. I can sense it. There's no way you can let people like that just have that much fun without spoiling a party. It's too good not to spoil. Something will happen. Trust me, it will happen. Edwardson is in the building. Big up. Tottenham have only won about 4 times at Anfield since the Titanic sank in 1912. So true. So true. Scott Hyman's here. Big up all and flat cap crew. Big yourself up, my man. Omari's edits. Liverpool and Tottenham is going to be hard, but in Conte we trust. It will be late like the 90th minute. We will win 1-0. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. Big up, my man. We've got Dave Tyson. He says, evening, lads. Big up, Davey. I hope you're keeping well, brother. We've got the bottom due. This is not being delusional, but I feel we can beat Liverpool. Inter won 1-0 against them with a 3-5-2 after Sanchez was sent off in the 63rd minute. We're good in the first leg too. We played well in that 2-2 draw and a 3-5-2. I mean, Jack, what would you say to the bottom due here? Very tactical. I love it.
Yeah, I actually thought Liverpool really struggled, in fact, against Inter Milan. In fact, maybe the bottom Duda, unless I'm wrong here, I feel like the bottom Duda, Inter were doing maybe what I feel like I don't really want Spurs to try to do. Because I thought actually Inter Milan at lots of occasions were actually trying to play through that press, and they actually succeeded in a lot of occasions. And I think Liverpool themselves, I even heard someone who was a real expert on Serie A football was kind of surprised that even Inter Milan went for it. Someone that knew Liverpool was very, big Liverpool fans, that they were surprised Inter Milan could even break through it. And I think it's because they have players like Brozovic, Barella, I think at one stage as well. I think Vidal had a really good game during, I think, one of those legs too. So I feel like maybe they have the midfield quality to be able to break through that sort of press, maybe a bit better than us. I don't imagine us using that same sort of tactics. And then we also don't really exactly have the same quality of wingbacks, in the same way that Inter Milan did. The 3-5-2 though was very successful, and even with the most dross of players though, to bottom Duda, we found a way, to beat Liverpool with it. So who knows? Maybe that's their kryptonite of a formation. Maybe it's their kryptonite formation. I don't know what answer I gave you though, to bottom Duda. I feel like it was in depth, in some way, but I don't know. The 3-5-2, if we can find a way to make that shape, maybe we go for it, because it seems like Liverpool struggle against it, but I'm not sure if we have the personnel like Inter Milan do at this stage.
Yeah. Look, I agree with that. I think Inter Milan, you probably would say, a better personnel.
Çalhanoğlu, right? Çalhanoğlu, Vidal, and Brozovic, two very good ball playing players there, and they did an excellent job of trying to break through that press at times. I thought to bottom do that.
Like for me, look, I don't want to see Winks come in, to be honest with you. I do not want to see it happen. Look, he is capable of a good game. But for me, you just don't know what you're going to get with the guy. And it's too much of a risk, especially if they end up keeping most of the ball. Harry Winks isn't going to be the sort to try and run around and win it back and stuff like that. He's just not good enough defensively. He'll switch off people to run off and run in behind them, pick up space. I do not want to see it. Look, I would rather just stick to the 3-4-3 and go with that and see what happens, to be honest with you. Go up there and give them a right good game. Give it a good lash. Plenty of belief, and I think he might stick with the 3-4-3 with Bentancur and Kulu now. I think he'll probably have belief in our front players that we can, on our day, we can rip anybody apart. And look, Liverpool leave spaces behind. I've watched a lot of Liverpool this season. At times, they can leave gaping holes in behind that back line. So we can exploit that. They like to play a bit of a high line at times. So why not get runners in behind? Get Sonny in behind. Get Kane to drop deep, or whatever. Get Kulu. We definitely have options, and we play well against teams that leave us space to play in. That we've absolutely ripped them apart. So who knows? Who knows the bottom bill? But I wouldn't write it off yet. Big yourself up, man. Hope you're keeping well. Really appreciate the support as well. Really means a lot. Paddy Higgins says, big up, lads. We can give Liverpool problems. If we keep the defence tight, we might just cause an upset. That's the biggest thing. Just got to keep the defence tight. I also worry from set pieces. To be honest with you, look, you've got Big Virgil, you've got what's that new guy, Ibrahima Kanate, or whatever his name is. Yeah, so they Fabinho, they've got some big boys, and we really struggle from set pieces. So that's my only worry. Like, even if we outplay them, they will still get chances from set pieces. So that is my biggest worry. But big up. Bob says,
love the profile pic though, Patty. Love the profile pic, and love that badge besides the name as well. Big up, Patty.
Yeah, big up, Paddy. Love the badge. Big up, my man. Bob Sport TV, another one with the badge beside his name. Big up, Bob. He says, I'm waiting to see if there's a mass walkout at Old Trafford in the 73rd minute. Will be interesting. United 2 up. Yeah, look, let me know what happens, Bob. Let me know, my man. Let me know if it happens. It'd be interesting to see whether they do or not. Dermot says, I have to disagree, Dave. Wexford is the best county in Ireland, but Kildare is a close second. Wexford is just there, Dermot, to be honest with you. It's just there. If they didn't have a hurling or a Gaelic football team, no one would really know Wexford exists. The only good thing about Wexford is Ross Lair. You can get the ball out of there to get to France, my man. That's the only good thing about Wexford. But in fairness, you do have some nice beaches down there, though, to be fair. You do have some nice beaches. I'll give you that. But no, it's not better than Kildare, my man. But big yourself up. Really appreciate the support. Everybody, make sure you smash that like button along the way. It should be customary. It should be done as soon as you come in. Smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And guys, feel free to get your super chats in. It is a great way to help support us at everything we do here. Whether you agree, disagree, or questions for the panel, it just basically means you skip the queue. We'll get straight to it, and we will get it up on screen. Do not feel pressured that you have to. Do not worry about that. We get your comments in regardless, and we will bring them up as we go along. But look, we'll start getting on some of the guests, and we'll start speaking to them and see what the thoughts are around here in this Spurs fan base. And let's start with the first one. In nice and early, it's the Italian job. It's KPV. Kyle, how you keeping, my man?
I'm good.
You keeping well? Buzzing after the weekend?
Yeah, I'm buzzing after the weekend.
What do you think? What did you make of the game?
Kulusevski made an impact. Came on, played great, but got to give a massive shout out to my boy Christian Romero.
Yeah.
The tackle he did on Soyuncu was brilliant. Leicester fans can cry all they want, cry all you want, but he didn't tackle Soyuncu. He got the ball first, so great tackle. Cry all you want. You got done over yesterday. Just like Liverpool did. You got done over yesterday. Just accept the result. You've lost twice. Now go and lose the rest of your games. You ain't going to win your games anyway. And you're still going to get battered on Thursday. Even though you're in England. So you're still going to get battered. So just accept defeat and move on. So we deserve the win. It's time for this weekend's game. Great 3-1 win. Romero man of match for me, and he was
did
my
a bit
man.
Of fox hunting at that game, didn't he, Kyle?
He
did a bit of fox hunting, right?
He did it for the fox hounds, yeah. And Conte released the hounds, and he's going to release the hounds again. Who let the hounds out? Conte did. Conte did, and he's going to do it on Saturday, then next Thursday, then for the remaining game. Conte masterclass incoming at Liverpool. Or LiVARpool, because they always have VR in their favours, but whoever the referee is, I don't care. We're still going to beat them lot. Then they won't win the title. I don't care. Like Bob said yesterday, I don't care if they win it because it's all about us. We win our remaining games and top 4 is ours. And the scum can enjoy being in the Conference League and they're still going to lose. But we're going to get back in to where we belong. They belong. They don't belong over here. They belong over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle,
100%.
Kyle, we're coming up against a team that, in Liverpool that do really they are still battling for something in the Premier League. They are, going for that big quadruple. They are kind of in the same situation we are to an extent where all these last games for them are absolutely vital. Do you think maybe Spurs can find a way? Do you think, what will it take, for us to maybe get the result? Will it take, just a bit more inspiration? Will it take, a bit more effort? I mean, what do you think is, needed maybe to get the upper hand against Liverpool?
I think it would take a bit more inspiration and effort to get the result we need there.
Who do you think needs to have a good game? Who do you think needs to have a good game against Liverpool?
I'm probably going to say like Lloris because he, Lloris has had good games against them before, but like he's done quite well against them before. But yeah, so Lloris needs to have a good game. He let the 2 goals in at home, but like I don't know how Robertson's goal was given because Salah actually handballed it. If you watch the highlights of our game against them earlier in the season, the goal was given. They got gifted it. But it's not going to happen this time when we batter these lot at Anfield. We're still going to win there. I don't care what anyone says. Liverpool or LiVARpool, whatever their name is, I don't care. Your fans can cry all you want, but in the end, you're going to get done over like you did at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You're going to get done over again and accept defeat because if anyone can stop them, it's us that can stop them. And it's time to win at Anfield. We need a win, and then I can call some Liverpool friends who are massive Liverpool fans and give them some stick because I don't really like them, but they are probably the best team. But City will probably want to win the league. But let's be honest.
Liverpool fans in the family like David does, Kyle? Dark Sun G has some Liverpool fans in the family. Got some spies. Inside the family. Does anybody with
Yeah,
you? Or are you Spurs through in the family?
yeah. I've got a friend of mine who's got two daughters, and they are both Spurs fans. Yeah, her daughter. I've got a friend called Jodie. She has two daughters. They are both Spurs fans, and their favorite player was Dele Alli, but he's not there anymore. But they
Hmm.
probably like Kulusevski and Son. But Kane
What
and
do you
Son
make?
love a goal.
What do you make
Yeah.
of Kulusevski's impact off the bench against Leicester, Kyle? Is that what we want to see from players coming off the bench? Someone that grabs the game by the horns.
Yeah, grab the ball by the horns. And I think he can score in this big game. He already scored
Hmm.
against City when we won 3-2. So why not? Why
Right.
can't he score? Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Hopefully it's
100%.
just as easy as well. That one was a tap-in for him to get the probably as
yeah.
easiest one that he had.
Yeah, they were calling the City players were saying it was offside, but get over it. Son assisted him. Kulu, like Son has scored against every Premier League champion you can think of.
What do
He's
you make of Sonny's second goal?
goal of the season, man. It's goal of the season. Like
Yeah.
things there's Tottenham goal of the season, but it has to be. It beats Lucas's goal against Norwich when he smashed it in. But yeah, Son's goal of the season. Like
Weaker foot as well, Kyle.
yeah, he's people saying he's right foot, but he's left foot. But that goal he scored was like the goal he scored against the Filth last season when we won. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
can he repeat that this weekend? And then obviously we have those a lot. But yeah, Son's going to score at least two, I think, because he's only three behind Salah. But Salah hasn't scored. But I think Son can score a few. Like he said, he would love to win a Golden Boot. Like I think he'll become the first South Korean to win it, but I think he'll be the only one. But if he wins it, then Salah and Mane can kiss goodbye because Salah's only won it twice, Kane's won it three, but gives Son a chance to win it. Then more Spurs players have won it. Like Son could become the third one since Teddy Sheringham did 92-93. That was during the Premier League era, but Son can win it, and my money's on Son to win it. He's only 3 goals behind, but if he scores 4, I will be happy. I'll put a bet on £5 Son to score 4 goals, then that'll be 24 goals. But he's gonna.
You think he'll beat Salah to the Golden Boot, sir?
Yeah, he's gonna. You heard it here first. He's gonna beat Salah to it. Kane did last season, most goals, most assists, and I
still
think
get Player of the Year. Imagine that.
yeah, and then he's won our Player of the Year like every time, last 3 or 4. So put some respect on Ronaldo's name. Any rival fan who doesn't respect him, then if you don't, then you don't know who he is. Show some respect for Ronaldo, the Korean Messi. Go support someone else if you don't like him. Just don't disrespect the Korean king. He's better. And as always, Levy out in Conte we trust. Conte masterclass incoming at Liverpool.
Who let the hounds out? Who let the hounds out?
Who let the hounds out? Conte did. Conte did.
Big up,
Conte
man.
did.
Big into my
Big
man.
up, man.
Big up, lad.
Good talking to you,
Come
Kyle.
on. He's absolutely brilliant.
We're going to need him this week, Dave. We're going to need Kyle this week. We're going to need that.
We're going to need him all week, man. He just brings that positivity. He makes you smile, you know. A lot of love for Kyle in the comments. Big up. Absolute brilliant guest. Isan, if you're there, my man, turn on the camera and we'll get you on. You're on next, brother. We've got a super chat here from Jordan Stevens. Says, would not surprise me if we get something at Anfield. Would be very Spursy thing to do. Liverpool also play a high line which suits us. Top 4 is not over. And Jordan, I fully agree with you. Look, they've been caught at times this year, Liverpool, with that high line. And with the quality we have of Son, Kane, and Kulu, we can put them to bed. So, you know, they could definitely be exploited. And in the home game, we created a lot of chances.
Yeah.
Son missed a couple of chances. I think Kane missed a couple, and we could have put them to bed.
Dele missed a few sitters. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if we can create some of the amount of same chances, there's no reason why we can't nick it. But what I was saying earlier, Jordan, is that we have to go there with belief and with conviction. You know, you got to go there and believe that you can get the points. You got to set up with a way to win the game, not just a way to contain Liverpool. You got to set up with a way to win. And look, it's not really so much Kane and Son and Kulu that I'm worried about. It's more so the likes of Davies, Dyer, Emerson, Sessegnon on the ball. Will they freeze in the big moment? Will they be scared? Because we need them to be good on the ball to be able to play out from the back. That's just the way we play. You've got to be able to rely on them. Look, Romero have no problem. He'll be able to ping passes, but he won't be able to do it all on his own because eventually Liverpool just set up a press and it'll become harder and harder and harder. So Dyer, Davies, Sessegnon, Emerson, they've got to be spot on. I don't want to see any loose deliveries from Hugo Lloris either. Look, every single one of them are going to have to be on it. But that's what I expect when you wear the Tottenham Hotspur jersey. That's what I expect. So hopefully we can rock up to Anfield and cause an upset. And I am in no way giving up on it. I believe Arsenal will slip up in at least 3 or 2 of their remaining games. Leeds, Everton, Newcastle and us. I think we'll beat them. And I think they'll probably draw against Leeds at the weekend. And look, I think depending on Everton's situation, hopefully they're not safe and they need a win. But if they need a win, I predict Everton to beat Arsenal.
There you are, Jordan. But the one thing I would say is, like David said, that one key crucial point is we need probably more than one of the center backs to really have a top-notch game. Last time it was actually Dyer. He was pinging in the passes and behind. He was playing dimes all over the place. We're going to need him to really step up for this one. And then also as well, maybe there is that chance that there is a blueprint, maybe for teams out there to beat Liverpool perhaps, and Antonio Conte might have his hands on that blueprint. Jordan Stevens, that's what I'm gonna keep hopes for, my man. But really appreciate support and also really appreciate the badge besides the name as well, my man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, big up, Jordan. Really appreciate the support, my man. Big yourself up. But look, we'll keep cracking. Big up, Rob Coyne as well. Good to see you in the building. Same as Henry, King Hoddle, and Autism as well. Really good to see you in the building. But look, we'll keep moving on. Let's keep listening to the fans. And the next one we've got on is Isan. Let's get him on. Isan, my man, how are you doing?
Doing well. Overall, a good performance on the weekend. So, yeah, that's great to see. So, yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah, look, what do you make of the game? Are you full of confidence from that game? Is there any areas that leave you worried about that game? I mean, for me, I think it was a bit of both. I think, look, Kulu came off the bench and done exactly what we want substitutions to be able to do when they come off the bench. Kane's goal, timing of the goal was important. Sonny was outstanding. I thought Emerson was okay. I thought Romero was brilliant, but I was left a bit concerned by Dyer and Davies coming out of the game.
Yeah, Davies had that really horrendous mistake in the first half, where he could have they could have scored, but Leicester didn't. I think Romero was there to clean up after him. Romero, world class, brilliant as always. But the one concern I have from the game, right, is that with Leicester, they're a team where we would play really well against them because their defense is just that weak. Like they didn't really adjust their style like how Brighton and Brentford did. They sort of try to play their own game, and that's why they sort of got rolled over. And in general, I think they have like the 4th worst defense in the league based on goals conceded. So yeah, with Leicester, it's us in the chat, I even said that if we don't score at least 2 goals, I'm going to be disappointed because they have quite a weak defense. And Conte has gotten some flack for substitutions, but he made the right call, bringing on Kulusevski, and then he came on with the 2 assists, which was.
Do you think he made the
excellent.
right call leaving him off in the first place? Just quickly, do you think he maybe made the right call leaving him off? Perhaps giving him that motivation.
I don't know. It's tough to say because I felt that with Conte, he should have maybe tried to switch things up against Brighton and Brentford. But with Leicester, the blueprint that we were working with when we were on our run, like 7 wins out of 9 games, he should have kept, because Leicester, they play like their own way. They didn't really like try to play a low block, right? Brighton and Brentford did. So I don't think he should have changed anything. But the games where he should have changed stuff was like the last 2 before Leicester. So yeah.
Do you think though maybe the fact that we're coming up against Liverpool and Arsenal? I mean, it's weird though because those are, you would like to say, more difficult teams, to probably come up against. But those are teams, would you say, is on that wouldn't maybe put the blueprint that Brighton and Brentford put on display? I would reckon they wouldn't, do.
No, no,
I'd
no.
say they do the same thing as Leicester. They would probably try to beat us with their own game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With Liverpool, obviously they're a much stronger team than us, so they're gonna play their game. They're gonna play with the high press and whatnot. And in a sense, that's an advantage because they play a very high line. They like to run the offside trap. The Liverpool defense has won the most offsides than anyone in the league this season. So they do love playing that really high line. But with the strengths of a high line, you can you can win the ball up the field. That's the strength. But there's also the weakness where you leave in space behind, and their fullbacks love bombing in forward. We saw against the Liverpool and in the Liverpool and Man City game where Trent Alexander-Arnold was completely exposed with the balls over the top. And I think with Son, who has some of the best off-ball movement in the league, and he's quick and he's super deceptive, we can get goals there. I'm predicting a high-scoring game because we have a leaky defense. And we have a strong attack, and Liverpool love playing a high line. They love playing attacking football. So I think we're going to see at least 3 or 4 goals in the game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Do you see us like scoring first, or do you see maybe Liverpool scoring first? Like, how would you see this game unfolding? Because I feel like maybe for us to get a result, I would imagine us scoring first. In order for us to get the result.
Yeah, like to be honest, I don't really expect much. If you look at our record at Anfield, it's been pretty dreadful, and they're a really strong team. I'm not really expecting anything. I guess just keep the goal difference, keep the goal difference down. I guess, or I guess keep the goal difference up. Don't concede that many goals. But but it is very much possible for us to get a result. I won't be too disappointed if we lose. If it's like a 2-1, 3-1, something like that, I won't be too disappointed. But it is very much possible for us to get a result. There is a blueprint that Man City have laid out against Liverpool. The ball's over the top, and we can definitely exploit that because we are a counter-attacking team, and Conte loves to set us up that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just as well what Jack was saying. I just feel if we go one down, I think we crumble. I think mentality goes. I think it goes. I think ultimately we just fall apart. I think it's very important that we get the first goal because I think the first goal will give us belief. I don't think one will be enough for us. I do think you probably need to see us score 2 or 3 up there, which is it's not easy done. It's not easy done, but everyone's going to have to be on it. We're going to have to see Bentancur play unbelievable, Højbjerg play unbelievable, the back line hold their own, front line, really carving them apart and creating chances. It's not going to be easy. The Liverpool play at a very high tempo as well, on the ball and off the ball. And it's how long can we last with that as well,
Yeah. Another thing was that we could possibly see a 5-3-2, but I don't think Conte will do that with the way Kulusevski's performing. I think we will go with the 3-4-3. And obviously with Winks in the midfield, it's a massive defensive liability. And I actually had this theory about Winks. So whenever Winks comes on, we concede. And the most common answer is that, he shies away from tackles and whatnot, which is true. But I have an alternative theory. And my theory is that Winks is an agent of Daniel Levy. And you're probably wondering, why would he be an agent of Daniel Levy, right? Like if he's like causing us to concede goals. The thing is, Lloris and Romero and Dyer and whatnot, they probably have clean sheet bonuses in their contracts. So Levy tells Winks to get on the pitch and get us to concede so he doesn't have to pay the clean sheet bonus. And it saves him money. That's why Winks hasn't been sold. That's my theory.
Maybe
it's
there's a
perfectly
contract
airtight.
in Winks. Maybe there's a Winks contract in every manager's contract, to play Winks. Like, they have to, play Winks, in certain games, on Daniel Levy's orders. I mean, to be honest, Izhan, you're probably expecting a very shock surprise from us. I mean, David and I, to be honest, we're probably not even very surprised if, if this is the case, if this exists, to be fair. So it's probably, the tinfoil hat theory. It's probably not even very tinfoil to begin with. We probably do believe it outright. But what are your thoughts, though, on that goal that he did give up to Kelechi Iheanacho? I was saying on the play ratings, but Dave felt like all three maybe players actually played a part. Maybe Steven Bergwijn, I think Tabata Duda said, didn't really help out in that situation. I thought Eric Dyer, again, kind of similar to Man United, maybe could have, stepped up a bit more, closed him down. Winks doesn't need explaining how sad that was to watch, but I don't know, like it wasn't all Winks, I guess is what I'm maybe trying to ask.
Most of it was, though.
Yeah, it like obviously I'd say like in order of like who's at fault. I think most at fault is definitely Winks, and then second would be like Bergwijn, and third would be Dyer. I think with Dyer, it's like if he runs out, like steps out, he probably leaves in space behind, to like for them to play it in like in the box. So with Dyer, I can sort of understand. With Bergwijn, I felt it was kind of lazy in a sense. He probably should have stopped him then and there, but with Winks, he was just easily beaten. And if you are beaten, just take him down, right? Like just take the yellow at that point, because the goal difference, it may come down to goal difference, to be honest, right? And we're less likely to concede from a free kick out there, than him playing in the ball. So yeah, I think Winks should have just taken him out at that point.
He's incapable. He's incapable. Look, the guy is too nice to even do something like that. Too honest. Look, the guy's just not good enough. And I know you always can't just put everything on him. But when a guy like that is just around and things happen, he just brings, like, when he comes on, I'm sure the players are just like, oh, my God. I swear to God, they know. They are like that. As soon as he steps onto the pitch, like, oh, here we go. Nobody's sitting in the middle, free reign through the middle. The opposition players get excited. They get built up. Look, the guy's just not good enough. When he's around or when he comes on, bad things happen. And when that happens, you just got to get him out of the club.
But what do you make of the fact? What do you make of the fact that Moon Boots was yelling at Bergwijn now after it happened to Izhan? Because that's the part that kind of confused me. But is it maybe because he doesn't want to hurt Winks' feelings? I don't know, because that's what kind of perplexed me, and that's why I think the bottom Duda probably even maybe thought that maybe Bergwijn could have done a bit better there, because Moon Boots actually decides to yell at Bergwijn, he decides to yell at Bergwijn instead of
Winks. I don't know. I think it's because with Bergwijn it was sort of like laziness, where he didn't get the ball. With Winks, I think he at least put in some effort.
He's not surprised.
So I think and he's probably like more accustomed to that. So yeah, I think it was just a lack of effort, or like differences in effort there. But yeah, with Winks, like he's definitely finished at Tottenham after this summer window. With the substitution, taking off Bentancur for Winks, I didn't mind. We were already like winning that game. So, and Bentancur, I think he's playing with a knock. Like I think that's pretty clear to see. For everyone, he was also on a yellow. So the substitution was all right, but with Winks, the quality just isn't there.
Do you know what? Yeah, I know what you're saying in the fact it's all right because it didn't really affect the game, but. The thing is, a player coming off the bench and negatively impacted the team is not okay. Like we've seen it time and time again over the last couple of years. Players coming off the bench and just doing absolutely nothing, not impacting the game going forward or impacting the game defensively. In fact, when we make changes, we end up just getting worse every single time. And it was actually refreshing to see Kulu show people what you should be doing when you come off the bench. You're fitter, you're fresher than everybody else. You should be sitting there watching what you need to do, the spaces to drop into, how you can impact the game. And that's how you do it, Kulusevski, not Harry Winks. I'm absolutely buzzing that Kulu done that. And I know you're not saying it's okay in that sense.
Yeah.
Just to people out there, it's not okay. It is not okay for him to be coming on and doing that. But look, you might be able to help us answer. We'll all answer the super chat here.
Okay.
And I love the way he's continuing on the tradition. Do you think LiVARpool will rest players because they go to Villarreal away, and then 3-4 days later they play us, and then 3 days later they go Villa away? I'll just start off by quickly saying I'll be honest, it doesn't even matter if they rotate players anyway. The players they drop out and the players they bring in, especially in the forward areas, they're still going to create chances. They're still going to chip in and offer something going forward. Defensively, will they make changes? If they do, that might negatively impact them, but I don't see it happening. I think if they do make changes, you've seen them in the forward areas. But Diaz and Jota coming in, well, I mean, Diaz has been a handful since he's arrived, and Jota just scored goals anyway. So, I don't think it'll have too much impact on how they play, to be honest with you.
Izan, what do you think? It's that front three has so much depth. What do you make of the fact, maybe I have a theory that maybe the midfield is the one that doesn't maybe have as much depth, maybe that Liverpool side when you think about it. So that would be the one that if they were to make big changes, maybe we could take advantage of.
Look, I don't think they'll rest against us. I think they'll rest against Villarreal because they're 2-0 up in that leg, and it's Villarreal. Like I know they're a dangerous team. They've killed a lot of giants, but they're already 2-0 up. I think they're going to rest in the Villarreal game. And with Villa, like we're a much stronger team than Villa, so they're going to go full strength against us, I think. Like just logically thinking about it, they might, they do have a lot of injury-prone midfielders, namely like Thiago and Naby Keita. So maybe they pick up an injury, or maybe they want to rotate them, but to be honest, I think they're going to go full strength. And even if they do rotate, there's a lot of quality there. So, yeah, I think they'll go full strength.
I worry about that guy, Thiago. He's really picked up form the last couple of weeks, and he's just pulling the strings for them. So I really, really do worry about him. We cannot let him have free reign, just sitting there in the pocket, picking off passes all game. Someone has to get to him and put pressure on him and close him down. What do you think? If we take him out, can we stifle Liverpool going forward?
I think, well, it depends on who else the midfielders are, but I do think Thiago, he's probably the most dangerous out of them. I mean, he's an incredible player, like because his technical ability and his passing ability is just like some of the best in the world. But even when he doesn't have the ball, he's an absolute workhorse, and his defensive technique is superb. So with Thiago, he's probably going to be like pulling the strings in that midfield, probably that entire team going forward and defending. So yeah, I think probably we'll need like Højbjerg or someone to really get on him and stop him from playing in those balls behind to Mane and Salah.
Yeah.
Or even it's like what we really just don't want to see him do is just be able to pick up the ball and then have lots of time to be able to pick out a pass, especially if we're sitting in a deep low block. He's a great player to have, for them to help, kind of get through those deep low blocks. And we just need to make sure that if we are to be in that sort of shape, I feel like Izan, there needs to be the players that know that he can't just be dwelling on the ball, just, picking out whatever pass he wants. He needs to be shown, only a few seconds maybe on the ball. And that's probably enough as it is, I would say.
Yeah, I think we'll set up similar to Man City and, hopefully hit them on the break and whatnot. If we score first, then we're gonna have a game, and it's very much possible if we apply the same blueprint that we did against Man City, and obviously the last time we faced Liverpool. I think we can definitely get something out of this game. But just our history at Anfield hasn't been the greatest. But anything is possible. Like I'm still gonna go in with some optimism. Even a draw would be a massive result. So yeah, and even if we lose. Even if we lose the game, the top four is still on. It's still on, even if we lose. So, because we're going to smash Arsenal at home. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
So, it's still on. Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, look, Ihsan, anything you want to big up? Any channel you want to big up before we let you go, my man?
Oh, yeah. I'm on Tottenham Tantrum Gold. So you guys can check me out there. We did the Leicester City versus Tottenham 1961 FA Cup watch along last week, where Spurs became the first ever team to do the double, and we have a lot more stuff coming through. So please check out Tottenham Tantrum Gold. It's an excellent channel.
No, big up, Ihsan. Well, look, my man, I look forward to. I will definitely watch one of them tonight, my man, and I'll let you go, and I'll see you again soon, brother.
All right, see you. Thanks for having me on.
Great call, my man. Great call. Very well broken down about Dark Song G Super Chat. Very, very well broken down. I just want to take this comment from Tapiwa. Majeri. Probably Winks and Bergwijn are frustrated for not being first choice. I couldn't give a shit if they are, to be honest with you. Look, for me, at the end of the day, Winks has been given how many seasons now to make himself first choice? He's been given a run in the team before Bentancur got here. Did he take it? Nope. Bergwijn was given a run of 20, 30 games under Jose Mourinho out on the right-hand side. Did he take it? Nope. So I couldn't care if they're frustrated. They should be frustrated with themselves, not Tottenham, not the management. In fact, you know...
What's another way to read that, Dave? Another way to read that is Winks and Bergwijn are upset that there are other players in the team that are better than them at football. That's pretty much what it is. Like, you know,
it's absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Winks is upset that Bentancur and Højbjerg are better than him at football. Bergwijn's upset that Sonny and Kulusevski are better than him at football. That's how you would read that comment. That's how you read that comment.
But Harry Winks was around with Moussa Sissoko and Moussa Dembele and Wanyama. Since then, Moussa Sissoko, Celso, Dele Alli's even been conferred. Ndombele, Bentancur, Højbjerg. That says everything we need to know about the guy. He's just not good enough to nail down the starting spot. We spent millions upon millions, nearly about 200 million trying to fill that spot. You know, I don't want to hear anything about Harry Winks. You know, he's in the press after that Europa League game or Europa Conference League game. Oh, well, I need a run of games. I mean, seriously, the self-entitlement of the guy. I need a run of games, but then you come on for 10 minutes and you cost us a goal. Honestly, jog on, get the grip. You know, you got to take them 10 minutes before you deserve a run of games. Same as Bergwijn. Look, I'll be honest with you. He's done well coming off the bench since the Leicester heroics. The last time we bet them, he's doing well coming off the bench. But I reckon he'll be out of here this summer. He will push to be sold because the World Cup is coming up, and he'll want to go and play first team football going into the World Cup. So he'll be pushed to get out of here. So, and I think Conte knows that as well. I think Conte knows he wants out. I think, in fact, Bergwijn probably wanted out in January, but we just didn't have anybody to replace him with, so we couldn't let him go. I think Conte knows that, and I think that's why you're seeing some of these short cameo appearances. But look, when it comes to Bergwijn and Winks, I don't want to hear about them being frustrated and crying. At the end of the day, they're the very ones to say it's up to me to look after my football career when things go bad or things go well. So, you know, it's up to them as well when they're not in the first team to understand why. And they're full-grown men. They shouldn't have to be told why. If they can't see why they've been playing in the game for so long, well, then sell them and go and get me the next person that will do it. I'm fed up with the mediocrity around here. I do not want it. I'm fed up with the moaning as well with some of these players. I'm frustrated. I'm not in the first team. I can understand your frustrations if you're scoring every single week. But at the same time, like people say, oh, they should be first off the bench for this reason, for that reason. Well, I mean, why aren't they? Why aren't they getting into the first team? They've got 6 days during the week, 7 days during the week training to prove to the manager why they should be in the first team. Manager can't be wrong when he's seeing that much of them. No, I don't want to hear it from these guys, and I don't even want to hear them excuses anymore. I'm fed up with the mediocrity. Not good enough. Get them gone. Simple as. Dark Zone G with the super chat. Big up, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. Says we have a jinx of when we sub off some we concede, and then the probability doubles if Winks is on. Romero versus Josh Salah. Kulu, Son and Kane versus Virgil van Dijk and Matip. Wow. Yeah, look.
I mean,
when Son comes off, that's actually I see that point. I have seen that happen when he comes off. We kind of do concede, but look, that's mainly because he comes off and Harry Winks ends up coming on in the same sort of move or a few minutes later, and then when he comes on, teams are just like happy days, straight through the middle, unleash shots on goal. You know, it's just, look, it's not good enough. Winks came on, 5-yard pass, and he thought he had made it. There we are. Stats good for the day, you know, and then he got spun like a roundabout. And even the way he turned to get back after your man, why did he have to run 20 minutes out that way to cut back across? You know, just turn. It's not that hard. You don't have size 12 feet, you know. You've got probably like size 6s. Just turn on a sixpence. You practice it in training every single day how to react quickly. And then he's fucking zigzagging across the pitch to try and get back. It's embarrassing, man. It's absolutely embarrassing. But look, Romero, I love this guy. I love this guy. But sorry, Jack, go on.
I'm going to say Dark Sun G. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise for 2 reasons. Sonny comes off. The team probably thinks then the game has been won. they probably switch off a bit. They're probably not as into it, not as switched on, not as focused, because when Sonny comes off, they probably just think the game is won. And then when you put Winks on top of it, it's just like multiplying, that already issue. Then they really know that, they can take, a bit of a load off. They really know that the game is won, because there's no reason Winks would be coming on the pitch, or they actually probably think the game is lost, with Winks coming on the pitch as well. It kind of goes both ways. So Dark Sun G, you're more than right, my man. But I would say them coming up against that back four of Liverpool, it's going to be a real test for Liverpool, I would say. Not as much of a real test for, I think, the front three. I think this front three has slaughtered many defenses and does not need to, really prove their repertoire, really prove, what they're capable of. I think it's actually more of a test for the back four, Dark Sun G, of Liverpool, really, with our front three power.
Yeah, 100%. Look, it is going to be a test for them. I think we'll definitely test them. Look, it's just going to be hard. I know our record up there. Dark Sun G, I mean, how many times have you had to listen to your old lad over the years slating you once they've done us up there, It's not fair, Dark Sun G. It's not fair. But look, we're definitely going to give them a battle for sure. Look, like I said, my biggest concerns is the defence. I know how Dyer and Davies can switch off, do stuff at walking pace, not be on their toes ready to receive a ball, and Liverpool will be all over it. That's my main concern. Going forward, I think we'll hold our own. It's just defensively is my concern, and from set pieces with their big boys. They got Canato towering in, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho. I mean, half the times we can't even handle 6 foot players, let alone 6'2", 6'3" players. So it's going to be a tough ask. It is going to be a tough ask. Hopefully the team can just show something in this game. But big up Dark Sun G, brother. I really do appreciate the support. Big up Dan Davenport. Good to see you in, my man. Sun's goal was absolutely incredible. And big up George. It's good to see you in as well, brother. Everybody, keep smashing that like, keep smashing that subscribe, keep getting your super chats in with your thoughts and your opinions. And guys, if every single person grabbed the membership, me and Jack would be able to continue doing the dream full time, all day, every day, and just go absolutely buck-eye with Tottenham content. So everyone grab that membership. But look, we're going to keep moving, keep going. We've got new guests coming in all the time. And guys, we've got a debut. So everybody be nice, big him up in the chat. You always see him in the chat. He's here. No matter the weather, no matter what sort of content it is, he's here. Let's get him on. It is Daniel Larson. Daniel.
Hello, guys. Hello.
You keeping well?
Hey, Daniel.
Very well. I'm very well. Nice to see you guys.
No, it's good to see you, man. It's good to put a face to the name. It's great to have you on, brother. Where are you calling from? What country?
He's in Norway, I believe. Yeah,
Norway.
I've seen it before. And Daniel, I think he's from the land of Holland, Dave. He's from the land of Holland. But as well, I remember Dave, Daniel, he always puts in, a chat. And even when he's busy, he'll say, listen, guys, I'm going out with, with the buddies tonight, having a nice, kick about, but still going to put in, a chat. So I would say, Daniel, we really appreciate your support so far. I'm glad to have you
deserve the support. So.
No, I appreciate that. But look, my man, let's get into it. Let's talk about Tottenham. I mean, what's your opinions on the game at the weekend? Good win?
Okay game, to be fair. I think individual performances put us through it, to be honest. Likes of Romero and Son. I thought Kane again was rusty.
Yeah, I agree.
I gotta say. So I hope he just steps up now against Liverpool because we need him. And Romero. What can you say?
Does he get you excited about defending, Daniel? Like when he makes them tackles?
Well, he gets me excited many places, let me tell you.
Yeah. I agree, my man. He's just unbelievable.
I mean, how we got him is just insane. I mean, Conference League, Nuno, and he wanted to join as well. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible. I mean, look, we are very lucky to have him. Daniel, I mean, are you like me? Do you have to, you don't need Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich to come in and sniff around and take him before we call him world class? You think he's world class?
I think he is just about there, world class. After the season's over, he's going to be world class.
I love it. I agree with you, actually, though, what you said about Harry Kane. Look, I'm his biggest fan, as you know. And look, I actually don't think he had a good game by any stretch of the imagination. What I will say is his goal, the timing of the goal was exactly what we needed. He was the first one to step up and release that. So
brilliant. brilliant movement.
Kane? Like, what's wrong with him the last couple of games? Why aren't we seeing the same Kane we've seen on the build-up coming into these games?
I don't know. I think maybe after the Brighton, the goalkeeper landed on his ankle, seems he's been a little careful almost. Maybe
Yeah.
Conte is telling him to be a little bit careful because if he gets injured.
So you still think he's carrying a knock?
Maybe not a knock now, but yeah, not a knock, but
He's just he's
just careful. Yeah.
He's careful. Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's careful. He's just, a bit wary of, what could happen. I think that's actually the right theory. What are your thoughts maybe on the midfield? Maybe because I feel like, in the case of Højbjerg, he's actually, in my eyes,
he's
been better of the midfield pairing.
He's been brilliant. Yeah, sorry. It's been brilliant the last couple of games. And also, I still see to this day people saying Wings and Højbjerg are similar. I mean, comments like that make me want to jump out the window.
You just want to bitch slap them into reality, to be honest.
I mean, the disrespect he gets is unbelievable.
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable.
Are you a Højbjerg admirer? Do you feel like, Daniel?
Yes,
You're a Højbjerg,
yes.
fan?
I love my Danish players. You know who I want. So Jesus.
What do you think? Where do you think people come from? Because we even had, I think you were probably there for that show where we even asked people, where does the Højbjerg, kind of maybe hate come from? Without saying why it's so ridiculous. We were trying to make sense of maybe why people don't like Højbjerg, but I don't know if we could come up with good answers. But I would say the past few games he's been immense. I think he's been better than Bentancur even the past few games.
Yeah. I think he was a little poor at the start of the season.
Yeah,
but again, he's been playing so much like the Euros. He played every game for Denmark. So he was so knackered, I think, at the start. And after he got a little rest, then you see the quality again. So
he might have played the most football on the planet at one stage.
Yeah. Unbelievable. The stamina, energy is insane. But let's talk about the wing backs, maybe. Oh,
yeah, let's do it.
What's your opinions on them? What's your thoughts?
Okay, this good and a bad thing. That was probably Emerson's best game.
Yeah.
But it's still a 5 out of 10.
Well, we gave him a 7 on the player ratings.
Oh, really? I just don't. I mean, I think it was better than Cess, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it was better. But again, Sessegnon as well.
I agree.
Yeah. The Sessegnon as well, he just doesn't drive. Doesn't drive forward. He always steps back and try to, I don't know if because his hamstrings are made of threads or,
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm with you. I thought Emerson actually was about as good as Sessegnon, if not maybe a bit better, actually. And that's not saying very much because they really weren't that spectacular, in any way, Daniel. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, how many right wing backs do you think we need this summer? Would you keep hold of Doherty for another season and add one to it, or would you sell both and look to bring in two?
It's hard with Doherty because that injury, you don't know how he's going to come back, how he's going to perform. But if we can only get 3 in, I would get 4. Sell all 4 of them, to be honest. The thing, I was the biggest Reggie fan. I always thought he was going to do well, but he just hasn't improved. He can't score on the pitch, but he scores off it, to be honest.
Yeah, he scores well off it as well. Very, very well, my man.
Yeah.
So he does. 100%. How many players would you be looking into getting in this summer, to be able to help this Tottenham team? And how many do you think Conte would be looking for?
A lot. Oh, a lot. Centre backs, at least 1, maybe 2. At least a midfielder. Get rid of wings now, Jesus. Bury him somewhere, Jesus Christ. A striker. We need another number 9, a new number 9.
Yeah.
To back up Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And look, the Liverpool game at the weekend. I mean, what's your thoughts going into that? Do you see us picking up points? You nervous? You excited?
I'm not nervous because I don't really expect anything, but maybe we can get something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're going for the title. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. The only thing I can say is that they play such a high line.
Yeah.
So when we are so good on transitions and counterattacks, hopefully, can do some damage there. And we need to. I think we need to have a better performance than we had against City at the Etihad.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
The problem is that Liverpool.
Sorry. I was going to say, just quickly, I'll let Jack in. Do you think we're capable of producing another performance like we did at the Etihad?
Yes, because Conte magic is gonna be at work. Hopefully, he's the only one. He's the only manager for this team that can get a result with this team.
Yeah,
and something like that.
Yeah,
I agree.
You brought up a good point, Daniel. You brought up a good point that Liverpool are just going to be really motivated. They're probably going to be as motivated as Spurs, for this game. And that's really kind of the shame about this. Let's say we don't get any points out of this. Do you feel like top four is still on? Do you think you still, have a bit of hope, reserved? Or do you think we have to get something out of this?
I think we have to get something here. I think so. At least a draw.
Like the honesty.
I
like the honesty.
It's just so hard with Arsenal if they're. I mean, hopefully Leeds never can do something with they're fighting for survival.
Yeah.
And of course, I think we're gonna beat them at home though.
Thankfully. Yeah, I think so.
Jesus, if we lose, imagine that if they somehow win and oh no, I can't. Oh no. I don't want to
get it out of your head, Daniel. Don't go to that place, Daniel. You don't need to go to that place. No need.
Yeah.
No, look, I think we'll turn up against the Gunners. I just have that feeling. I think at home, I don't think
Romero's going to smash them.
Oh, do you know what? I cannot wait to see him. I cannot wait to see him gobble up the likes of Saka, Odegaard, fucking Smith Rowe. I cannot wait. They're going to try and prance around like they're the big boys. We run North London. And then Romero's just going to go through one after the other. I cannot wait. He's going to smash them up.
They might need to sign a waiver to play with Romero, Dave. They probably need to sign a waiver to be on the same pitch with them, to be fair, actually, especially in our own stadium. Especially in our own stadium, Dave, where we're liable, for all maybe the potential damage that Romero could cause to those players. I think they are going to have to sign a waiver, to come and play against them. So I think you're absolutely right, Daniel. There could be bones, scattered across the pitch, after what.
And hopefully Højbjerg has a word with Arteta again.
Absolutely. Nice. I love that image of him just standing over Arteta and then not doing anything about it. But look, Daniel, anything else you want to talk about, my man?
Yeah, well, I can talk about Kulusevski. The quality difference there. I mean, Lucas playing and just do nothing, just running like a headless chicken. And then you get Kulusevski again coming on and just there's the quality difference.
Yeah.
That's what you need. That's what we need more of,
Yeah.
Do you think it was the right move to leave him on the bench? Do you think he got a bit of motivation from that? You think he, had a bit of a chip on his shoulder coming off?
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I think he got motivated, definitely. But it's just luck, I think, to be honest. That's left him out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I really like Kudo. I really like the impact he's had. But Daniel, come here. Any players around Norway that Spurs should be keeping an eye on potentially to bring to the club? Anyone even up and coming?
Glimpse, anybody?
Oh, not really now. Patrick Berg was really, but he's gone. He was really good.
Yeah,
he's really good. Yeah, there isn't really. I mean, Haaland, but no, that's not happening.
Yeah,
I wish it was.
Definitely not going to happen. But look, Daniel, I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you coming on.
Excellent debut, my man.
Yeah, thank you. That was very fun.
No, thanks for
Højbjerg-like debut, my man. A Højbjerg-like debut. Yeah. Just put in the work, answered every question efficiently, put in a bit of banter, a bit of humor with some of them as well. I would say smashing. Absolutely smashed it, my man.
Absolutely smashed it. And a lot of people loving it as well. Big up, Daniel. Yeah. Really appreciate your time, my man. And we'll speak again soon.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Oh, thank you for coming on. See you, bud.
Catch you, brother.
See you, my man. Oh, everyone, big up Daniel. Big up
Smashed
Daniel.
it.
It's not easy your first time, you know. I remember my first time going on Weird Tottenham TV, very nervous, very quiet, and now you can't shut me up, you know. But it is very nerve-wracking, you know, your first time. But big up Daniel, absolutely smashed it. We've got Jerome. He says we are going to go there to frustrate them the same way we frustrated City. I don't think we can win, but we will give them a tough time to break us up. Jack, what do you think? You think that's the right game plan?
Yeah, Jerome, that's all you can hope for. I would rather us be still in it with like a boring 0-0, even if we hadn't even entered their second half, you know, or, you know, their half the pitch is what I meant, you know, Jerome, if as long as it's still 0-0 and we're still in it, I'd be happy. To be fair, like even if we didn't register a single shot, if we got a point out of the game, I don't think I'd be too beaten up about that. I think I'd actually probably have a cheap grin about it, just to be fair, because let's be honest, we're not expecting a lot, Jerome, and we're coming up against perhaps the best team in the world, like as well, and we haven't had a good record against them. You know, against the other best team in the world, you know, we wish we could play them every week. In the case of Man City, but with Liverpool, it's a different story, Jerome. So as long as we're still in it, I'm with you. I think as long as we try to frustrate them like we do City. Like we did City, as long as we try to frustrate them like we even did at our own stadium as well. We definitely did frustrate them and cause them some things to be worried about and to think about. Klopp was absolutely squirming on the sidelines. You could tell in the first half with what we were doing to them. So, Jerome, I would say as long as we're still in it by the 60th, 70th minute, even if we were to not get all 3 points, I don't know, I wouldn't be too broken up about it. I just want to stay in it for at least 60 to 70 minutes. That's the least I can hope for it. And actually the lowest mark I can set, you know, that they at least have to do that.
Yeah. Look, I think first half we might look to maybe take a bit of their excitement, a bit of their adrenaline out of the game. I think that would probably be wise, especially first 10, 15 minutes. I do not want to concede. I think they'll look to throw everything at it. The crowd will be boisterous because they are in a league title run. So I think, you know, our first 10, 15 minutes, definitely consolidate, keep it tight. But, you know, second half, we also have to remember, we have to try and get a win if we can. We have to go for it as well. So I don't mind doing it for 45. But second half, then you gotta kind of pull off the reins and go for it. To be honest with you, somewhere in the second half you have to. But look, I could definitely see him going to frustrate them in the first half, and if we can just get a nice early breakaway goal or a breakaway goal in the first half, I mean, it puts them under the cosh. My biggest thing is I don't know if I want that goal to come too early, because Tottenham holding on to it is not a good idea. It really is not a good idea. You know, we don't
That's
really
the Jose days.
Yeah, exactly. And you just know what's going to happen. The fans will feel it. The players will feel it. Conte will bloody feel it. The commentators, everybody around the game knows what's going to happen. So I'll be honest with you. I'd rather be 0-0 at 90 and go and nick one. I really would. That would be the way I'd want to do it. I think it's the only way my heart can handle it. I wouldn't be able to be winning for like 70 minutes and then they go and nick one. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
I'll see if your story changes by match day, Dave, especially for the pre-match pump up. I bet your story's going to change a little bit. I bet you're going to say you want to be 3-0 up by halftime. You know, I bet your story's going to change.
Oh, no, 3-0 fine. I just don't want to be 1-0 up for 70 minutes, because you just know what's going to happen. It's the inevitable. And look, I know, and the reason why I know, Jack, is because Dyer will switch off once. Davies will switch off once. And that'll be the time we'll get punished. That will be the time we get punished. Dark Sun G. Yeah, big up, Jerome. Jerome, actually, my man, when are you going to come on and speak to us? I know you're in the big land of Oz, and it's probably early morning, but one day you got to get up a little bit extra early and come on and speak to us. Big up, Jerome. Good to see you, man. Legend. Dark Sun G21 says, I hope we beat LiVARpool so they fail to win the league for the ultimate revenge on the Champions League defeat if their players get yellows and focus them. Oh, you best believe I am going to rub it in. I am going to be absolutely unbearable. In fact, I'll just drive around to each one of their houses, to be honest with you, and just, you know, sit outside with a megaphone until they let me in. You know, I'm going to absolutely abuse them, because, you know, they had a good time at my expense, you know, when they won the Champions League final. I was a broken man, a very broken man, and they're hopping around, ringing me, and honestly, it was a dark time in my life losing that Champions League final. I can't. So if we stop them from winning the league, I'd be absolutely buzzing. I'd just be on the phone and be like, hey, boys, Mind waiting another 30 years as well. That'd be nice. I'd be straight onto them, Dark Sun G, brother. Big up.
That
man.
would be the sweetest revenge. Dark Sun G, Dave, he's been boiling this revenge. He's just slowly cooking it, over a long time. And he's been waiting for this precise moment. At Dark Sun G, I would say no better time just to spoil the party. In fact, almost as equal of a party spoiler, I would probably say, because I think Liverpool fans are really thinking about maybe that quadruple. And then if we were just to steal it all away from them in that sort of manner, Dark Sunji, it would be the sweetest of revenge. I love it, Dark Sunji. Never thought about it that way, my man. Only you would think about it that way. Absolute legend. Absolute legend.
No, I'd absolutely love it, Dark Sun G. I really would, to be honest with you. It'd be absolutely. I can imagine Dark Sun G, if we get it, he'd treat his father like shit. The father would come in and be like, Dark Sun G, you never watch the dinners after dinner. No, you do it. I can imagine him just taking the scout sort of style. I can just imagine it. You do it. You're a chump. Best believe I cannot wait. And even my niece, I'm going to rub it into her just because she's young. She's not escaping. She broke my heart, supporting Liverpool. And so I'll be giving her a bit of a talking to as well. But big up, Dark Sun G. Big yourself up. I've already stopped her pocket money. She knows why as well. So, I've given her something to think about for a little while. Liz, he says cutie smash. Do you know what? I'm convinced, right? And I've said this during games. I look at the guy and you can see him sort of like twitching, and I'm like, he's dying to smash somebody. And he just loses it. He just loses it for a split second and just goes and smashes somebody. He's absolutely unbelievable. I love him. He's a psychopath. If I was playing up against him, I'd be terrified. I'd be on my knees to the manager and I'd be like, please, put me over the other side today. I'm begging you. I do not want this. I'm telling you now I don't want it, And that's what he does to players. Honestly. Even when he passes the ball, sometimes he has to wait for a jostle before he passes it, just because he needs that sort of contact. He's unbelievable.
Lazy, I wouldn't be surprised if, Romero one day shows up on, one of the new Mortal Kombat games or something like that. You get to pick Romero. He has, the cootie smash finish, at the end as well. To be honest, I wouldn't expect. He'd be in probably some, Street Fighter game, in the future of some sort. He's just that type of guy. Lazy, big up, though. Way too kind as well. Way too kind.
Yeah, I really appreciate the support, brother. Even though you do a lot for us, you still support us. I really appreciate that, my man. Dark Zone G says Romero blocked the big guys like Maximum and Antonio, so the small guys like small lads like Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah will bounce off him like Sterling did versus Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, look, Saka won't be long about looking around to Mikel Arteta and asking him, please. He'd be begging him. You watch. Some of these Arsenal players will be in for a rude awakening. They'll get slapped by Romero once. They'll still think they're the big and all. Look, I'm going to have to front it because it's a derby. They'll be slapped the second time. They won't know where they are, and they'll be begging to be moved. You watch. No one will want to come down his side that North London derby. They do not want it. Look, this guy made Mikel Antonio a coward. I've seen Mikel Antonio bully Premier League defenders, and he made him not want to know. Trust me, I've been up against guys like him. There's an old guy I used to play against called Kenny. Unbelievable centre-back and just dirty shit house. Knew all the little tactics to put you off your game and leave his mark on you and hurt. Even after a training session, you knew you were in a battle and you're just going home and you're begging you're just like, please, man, not again. Don't send me down there. I don't want it, Honestly, that's what Romero does. That's what he does, Dark Sun G. But big up, my man. Big up. Really appreciate the support. And then Jack, this is where you'll let you take this on. He says, Lloris needs his A game. Son, Cool and Kane need to be clinical. I mean, if Newcastle barely lost to Newcastle by the odd one goal, why can't we draw a win maybe?
Yeah, really good point actually there, Darks and G. But Lloris is going to need to be on his A game, not only in the saves, but can't have too many sketchy moments from him, in possession either, because if he gives the ball away too much, it also will sort of deflate the team where it will make it harder for them to want to, give the ball back to him when under pressure. We need Lloris to be able to at least play, I would say, one pass, that really is on the money that can actually maybe open things up, maybe get us out of a bit of pressure, maybe someone that, maybe Liverpool leave off to the side thinking that Lloris wouldn't be able to play it to him. Lloris, in fact, does play it to them. And then we can maybe break or, make something happen from there. I need him to be good with his feet. I know we're asking him to make good saves, but he's going to need to be good with his feet as well. I think that's going to be crucial. Son, I think he's been an absolute assassin. Any opportunity that he really does get in front of goal, Dark Sun G, he's been absolutely ruthless. We, of course, need him to carry it into Liverpool, but there's no way that we could question this guy's ruthlessness this season. He's been absolutely brutal in front of goal. But Kulu is going to need to have, that bit of tendency like Son is, where when he does get his chance, you can't expect that another one's just going to be coming to him, 5 minutes, 6 minutes later. The opportunity that he does get, he's going to need to take it right away, my man.
Yeah, 100%. And look, just on Hugo Lloris, look, he's captain. These are the games where he should be stepping up and setting the example. He's got to make sure his distribution is spot on. Last few weeks, he's given away a few sloppy passes here and there. Make sure his distribution is spot on. Kane, Son, and Kudu, look, I've no worry about them, to be honest. I think they're going to turn up. I think they will be clinical. Look, I think Kane, he's hurt from not scoring for the last few weeks. He'll be hurt with Son going for the boot, a golden boot as well. So I'm sure if he gets a chance, he'll take it. And Son, he's got Salah in his eyes, so there's no reason, no better place to do it than Anfield right in front of him. So I have no problem about them guys whatsoever, Dark Sun G. But big up, brother. Really appreciate the support. And then we'll take this one, and I just need to run to the toilet quickly. I'll be back. But Dark Sun G says, Liverpool only made it to the title fight because of us. I mean, if we lost to City, they have no chance of going ahead of City. It would be beautiful for us. Lol, made it to the title fight because of us. Oh, because we
took points off of City, and we put City through a bit. I think we kind of initiated that kind of bad run of City, as well. I think we sort of kind of kicked off, that bit of bad form of theirs as well. So he is right, and then. Yeah, so if we had lost that game, they would have no chance of going ahead of City. I mean, yeah, so Dark Sun G, like you said, it's all boiling up to this perfect sort of revenge where we gave them a hope. We made them think that we're their friend. And then, they get to this certain crucial moment where they think that maybe we'd do them another favor. But in fact, Dark Sun G, we just come in to spoil the party. All that hard work that they needed to get to, come back against Man City, it's all for nothing. We just ruin it right at the end of the season for them. They'll probably absolutely shatter for it. Dark Sun G, like I said, it's beautifully put by you, and I never thought about it that way. It's just boiling up for beautiful revenge. Honestly, they'll write books about it, Dark Sun G.
And it'd be nice if they went on to win none of them at all, and we were the start of the derailing of them. That'd be absolutely poetic. It really would be. I'd actually write poems about it and send them out to my friends, to be honest with you. But big up, Dark Sun G. Really appreciate the support, brother. Incredible support, Dark Sun G. Incredible. Dark Sun G, though, I know you definitely have some sort of good stats for us that'll give me something to hold on to this week. I know you have one of them stats. Give me one of them, brother. And Chase Mullen says, big up, boys. Probably already discussed this, but do you think we will still have a chance at top four if we lose to Liverpool and Arsenal beat Leeds? I'll be honest, if Arsenal beat Leeds and we lose to Liverpool, 5 points. We got the North London Derby next. We beat them. We close it to 2. Look, there's still an outside chance. I always say, until it's mathematically possible, it's not over. You can't say the old other expression anymore when it's not over to the fat lady sings. You're not allowed to do that anymore. They'll cancel you over that now. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, even though I just said it, it doesn't matter. Forget that. But look, look, I'm not giving up hope, because if we lose to Liverpool, we beat Arsenal. It's 2 points. They've got Newcastle and they've got Everton. And I would love if Everton... And look, I'm not writing them off. I'm not. No. The answer is no, Chase. I'm not. But Jack...
Chase, you were making him squirm there. He had to, sound it out in his head, there, but he eventually got to it. He's not losing hope. I'm not losing hope either, Chase, because, when you really look at it, we need to get those 3 points against, against the scum at home. If we don't get those 3 points, it's absolutely over. Regardless of what happens, it really is more comes down to that game, because who knows, maybe that game could be a real momentum shift. Perhaps, we give them such a spanking, they don't really even want to play football, for the rest of the season. They might even forfeit the rest of their games. You never even know how it could go, Chase. But like I said, I think it's really just going to go down to that game against the scum at home, regardless of, this Liverpool result. But certainly getting something out of this game will help a lot. And also, maybe, who knows, Chase, we might just need to rely on the other teams, to actually get a result against Arsenal. We couldn't depend on, the likes of Chelsea, West Ham, Man United. Couldn't depend on them to get us a result, but I guess we'll depend on the others to do it for us.
Yeah, big up, Chess. Really appreciate the support, man. Really do appreciate it. And he's replied, he says, I'm not losing hope either. I believe if we smack the scum at home, they will lose to Newcastle as well.
Love
Look,
that.
Newcastle
Exactly,
as well.
Chase.
Look, I don't know. I think they might have enough to beat Newcastle, but everything when they have the backs against the wall and something to fight for, like they did against Chelsea, as you can see, you get something a little bit different from them. And I was impressed with everything against Liverpool. I was expecting them to get smacked up, and that didn't exactly quite happen. I thought they held their own for long periods of the game. Such as, I mean, look, it's not over, and I love that. Exactly. Not losing hope either. I absolutely love it. I really do. And never, ever lose that optimism, my man. Never, ever lose it. Look, some people are going to call you delusional. Some people are trying to take that away from you. But do not let them, lad. Do not. At the end of the day, it's not over until it's mathematically over. But big up, Chase. And then J. Cole, take this. I am absolutely bullying for a P. But he says, it's golden boots, not boot for Sonny. He's like, and Jack, he was absolutely raging out underneath the player ratings. He was like, how could you not give Sonny a 10? 2 goals and 1 assist. He was not happy.
When I even sent it in to you, Dave, I was thinking to myself, I was like, why didn't I give Sonny a 10? And then I stuck by, what I originally sent, Jay, we stuck honest, like we do, Jay, we don't do 0.5s on this channel, Jay, we stick by the opinions, we don't want, to let people just get away, with a half opinion, something that's in between. So I was going between a 9 and a 10. I should have gone for the 10. I went for the 9. I betrayed you, Jay. And honestly, I know you an apology. But yeah, he's going to be lacing up the golden boots. And also, I still believe to this day, the most non-penalty goals, in the Premier League for Sonny. So when you really think about it, he kind of is the top scorer.
Yeah. And Jay, I also apologize. Look, as soon as we finished, I said it to Jack, so like we probably should have just, put a 10 on Sonny. But we already had it done. And to be honest with you, yeah, look, I'm not even going to argue with anybody. I apologize. I think he should have got a 10. So I do apologize. But big up, Jay. Really appreciate the support and the comment, my man. And the comment. Big yourself up. Jack, I'm just running to the toilet quickly.
Yep.
Get on the next guest, and I'll be back in a minute.
Absolutely. I think we're going on to Brad Matthews. Brad, how we doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a long weekend, put it that way.
And what sort of way was it? Things outside of the Tottenham.
Yeah, well, basically Friday is always my beer and music night. Basically, watching music videos and then drunkenly sending WhatsApp messages to all my friends saying, "Oh, watch this song, watch this song." Saturday we had a big curry over here, big curry night with a lot of the Spurs YouTubers. That was really, really good. Obviously, Sunday was the big game, and today is all the live streams. So it's been a big weekend for me. So if I seem a little bit tired, it's probably because I am.
Well, somehow you found a way to rally through, the whole weekend, Brad. So when you were at the game, what were your feelings of it? Were you a bit nervous thinking, maybe Spurs weren't going to maybe show up in the way that they did? What was your feelings, with Spurs?
I was nervous, obviously, because it was a game that we had to win. And I think that's what's happened with Tottenham at the moment is that I think the Brighton and Brentford blips I think we thought we'd already done it. We had that 4-win winning streak. And if we beat Brighton, we're 6 points clear of Arsenal. Arsenal have got Man United, Chelsea and West Ham. We're there. And it didn't go that way. And I think playing Leicester, it suddenly come down to we have to win this. Losing it or not getting 3 points is not an option. I thought we came out of the tracks pretty well. The first 20 minutes, I thought we had a bit more intensity, tried to move the ball a lot quicker, certainly a lot quicker compared to the last 2 games, and more forward rather than side to side. Then I think we allowed Leicester back in the game a little bit in the last 20 minutes of the first half, and I was a little bit concerned. Pleased to see that they didn't have Vardy playing and Maddison was injured. And the second half, I think...
Do you feel like that was their B team? Do you feel like that was, Leicester's
They
B
made
team?
changes. They made changes. And I think that made it a little bit worse for me watching, thinking, well, we should really be winning this, Mm-hmm. They're in this game more than I think they should be because of the scene they put out there. But the second half, especially after they replaced Mora, who unfortunately didn't have a good game, and Kulusevski, I don't mind. argue with the fact that he was dropped or rested or whatever way you want to put it. Surprised that Mora got the go-ahead rather than Berg win, but hey, that's what happened. But then when Kulusevski came on, wow, it was like, it's like he was champing at the bit, and the intensity level just went zoom like that. And then as soon as we got the second goal, I'm sure we're going to talk about Romero, but the second goal, that once we got the second goal, I thought, well, that's it. That's playing into our hands now. They won't be able to live with us now because they'll attack us and we'll just get them. And when we play fast attacking football, we're sometimes unstoppable. And I think that's what we missed in the last two games. But Kulusevski made all the difference. The intensity level went up. And then, Romero. I mean, this guy is a time traveler from the 70s. I'm sure he is a 70s defender.
Born in the wrong generation. You feel like born in the wrong era.
Oh yeah, he's a guy back in the day when,
or maybe we should be blessed that he was born in the wrong era.
The day when you fairly win a tackle but take the player out as well. Graham Roberts used to do it. Boom. I won the ball, players in the stand. So it's like, and that second goal, those two tackles he made, wow, that was just absolutely unbelievable. And it ultimately it resulted in the second goal, which made it 2-0 and settles the nerves. So it was the second half was a lot better. Wasn't our best performance of the season, but I think we did enough. We did enough, did well, and really I felt. I think Bentancur, when I took Bentancur off, he was on the yellow card. And also, you don't want Bentancur injuring, you don't want Sonny being injured, those sort of things. So I think they had to make the changes.
It was a substitution.
Yeah, the players that we brought on, or certainly Harry Winks, I mean, a lot's been said about Harry Winks. And we gave away that silly goal. Hopefully it won't mean anything in the long run. If you'd have offered me 3-1 before the game, I'd have said, I'll have that, no problems.
100%.
Considering that goal, we put 4 past Villa a few weeks earlier. So, it's up and down, it swings and roundabouts. So so I was pleased. And the other good thing about the match was a young couple next to me.
Yeah.
I detected an accent sort of thing. Never seen them before. They're from Minnesota. And every time Spurs scores, they give me high fives. I'm like, oh yeah. So it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But
So
you know where they're loving it, where they're having a good trip.
Oh, they were amazed because that's the first time they've obviously been to the.
Did they recognise you, Dad?
No. The guy was. I was saying that he's obviously watched us on TV and that sort of thing, but they go, oh wow, this atmosphere is brilliant. And I said, oh, you over here? They're over here for 2 or 3 weeks. Are you over here? You're going to make the North London derby? Oh, unfortunately, we can't go. I said, well, you think the atmosphere is good today? It goes up a notch for that game. It was there's some good performances out there. I thought Bentancur played very well. I thought Højbjerg, certainly for the first 20 minutes, half an hour, was immense. Sonny, I mean, we've all seen the stats today that he's the best Premier League goal scorer with his wrong foot. He scored the most Premier League goals with his wrong foot in Premier League history.
Wow.
So, one of my big bugbears with professional footballers is not using your wrong foot. Yeah. With Sonny, it's not a problem. I hope Kane's the same as well.
The most weak foot goals. That is impressive.
I was saying to Jack earlier on, Brad, to stroke the ball the way he did with his weak foot, similar to the way he did against Arsenal with his strong foot, it's unbelievable because most of the time when you say to someone, swing your peg at it, especially if it's your weak foot, you're more or less hitting in hope. But he wasn't hitting in hope. The way he struck that, he knows he can rely on that foot. That's what impressed me.
Exactly, yeah. And where I sit, I'm literally looking at that shot. And you can see as soon as he hit it, it's like, that's going in. Yeah. And I don't think he could have got it any more perfect. And he used to do that a lot, the old curling shots. We haven't seen it so much this season. Which is funny, seeing that he scored his best ever Premier League season, but we haven't seen it as much this season. And to see him do that, because we know he's got the ability to do that with either foot, and that was just like the icing on the cake there, 3-0. And then Leicester were like, you could tell they were thinking of Thursday night, So it was it was not the best performance of the season, but an improved one on the last 2 games, and good to get back to winning. We've now The Liverpool game that's going to be a hard game, a really difficult game. I was, in a way, pleased that Liverpool actually won on the weekend, because that means that they've got this really long run of winning games. Well, that's got to come to an end at some stage. So, yeah, it's. I'm sure you'll be asking me about the Liverpool game later, but
yeah, well, let's ask you about it via Dark Sun G here, and he's saying we were the last London team to beat Liverpool 4 years ago at Wembley. Ever since then, they haven't lost to a London team. Brighton can draw at Anfield, so why can't we? So what if the bogey team exists? What are your thoughts on this? I don't even need to say
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Wow, that's a very
See,
wow.
What does this make you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave you the stat. Dave replied, Dave.
He gave me something to hang on to this week. Dig up Dark Sun G.
Well, it does, because it's the way I look at it. As you know, when we drew against Liverpool at Tottenham earlier in the season, that's the first time that they haven't beaten us in about 4 or 5 seasons. I think they've beaten us every game they played us. And you look at the last games when we've gone to Anfield, we've been in situations where I think we were 1-0 up, Sonny hits the bar to make it 2-0. We lose in the last minute. We had that situation where we got fought back to 1-1. Sissoko's through and goal misses. Dele Alli, I think, had a shot that hit the bar, and then then an Alderweireld own goal in the last few minutes. I think we've seen penalties given in the last few minutes. We saw the game where we were both going for the game where whoever won would be top of the league. It's 1-1, and Bergwijn misses two super chances, and they score in the last minute, from a corner. So we've had some really bad results up there. A lot of last minute goals, and I think, well, surely that's got to change. They can't keep doing that. It's got to change one season, and hopefully it'll be this already the one. I must admit, I'm still factoring in a loss on Saturday, when I'm looking at top 4. So I'm still thinking, let's look at it as a loss, and can we still win top 4? Yeah, we can. But so a point or even a win, wow, that'll be like a bonus. The only thing that I'm worried, psychologically, if we lose at Liverpool and Arsenal beat Leeds, that's a 5-point gap. And that's a psychological problem there, even though we've got Arsenal in the North London derby. The North London derby now, to me, that's much more important than the Anfield game. Much more important. We have to win that. We just have to win that. That's just not negotiable. Well, actually, to be fair, we have to win. After the Liverpool game, we have to win our remaining games, in my opinion, to get top 4. Because if you look at the teams that they're playing, Leeds are in big problems. Leeds are in big trouble there. Yeah. Because I was looking at it earlier tonight, their goal difference. Their goal difference compared to Burnley and Everton is rubbish. So they're in big trouble. So they're fighting for their lives. Everton are fighting for their lives. So Newcastle at home, a different proposition these. I'm glad we played them when we did. Yeah. So there are games where Arsenal could drop points, but
you make a good point about the goal difference here. I have it here, Brad. So Everton are 18th with 32 points with minus 20, and Leeds are 17th with 34 points and minus 34 on the goal. So I mean, Leeds and Everton, they still have an awful lot to play for. Earlier down there as well, So I mean, they're scrapping for their lives. And Brad, a lot of these big teams say it. They're the teams they don't want to be playing coming into the season.
Exactly. I mean, by the same token, we've got Burnley as well. So but we've only got one team that are scrapping, where Arsenal got 2 teams that are scrapping. So it's there are games there. The only thing that worries me is that they've won their last 3 games against big opposition, or against teams that we thought would take points of them. But the way this season's gone, before the Brighton game, we were thinking, this is really, really good. Look at the Arsenal games, and then they go and win, and we don't win. So the way the season's gone, they could well not get the points in the games you expect them to. We got to Anfield and nick a goal in the last minute sort of thing. So it's as I said last week, it's a toss of the coin still. It really is. We can still do it. We can definitely still do it. And I would not, if I was a betting man, I would not like to say who I think is going to get there. It's one of those sort of situations where, I'm confident in Spurs' ability to get the right results, but you just don't know. It's just one of those sort of things.
Yeah. Big up, Dark Song G. And I really appreciate you giving me the stat I can hang on to this week. You know,
That's a good stat.
It's
if
not
Brighton
impossible.
can do it, Dave. He's even telling you, Dave. Dark Sun G's telling you bold, right in front of you. If Harry Potter can do it, Dave, why can't we? If he was able to get a result up at Anfield, Dave, why can't we? You shouldn't be doubting yourself. If Harry Potter, the man that you slam every single week, Dave, if he found a way, so can we. That's what Dark Sun G is telling you.
I think,
and that's what he even put it in again, Dave. He reiterated that point by saying that again. So.
Well, you know what? I think the key to Saturday is us taking our chances. I think it might be a high-scoring game. So if we take our chances, then I think 2 or 3 or whatever it might be. Look at the Man City game. We took our chances in the Man City game. We even had that goal that was disallowed for offside. So I think that's the real. Having said that, it's probably going to be a 0-0 draw now, but I think that's I think if we take our chances, which we haven't done up there in the past, if we take our chances, then I think we're in with a shot. So even though I'm writing it off as a loss looking at the top 4, I'm not going to say we're going out there and lose. I'm just saying that I'm just looking at that. So anything is a bonus, basically. So, and I'm not even sure where I'm going to be watching the game because we've got the. Over here, they call it the Hanwell Hootie on a Saturday, and it's basically a load of up-and-coming bands playing Hanwell, where Marshall Amps was made, and Marshall sponsored this thing. So I'm going out with friends to watch that. So where I'm going to be when the Spurs game is, I have no idea. So it's
I'm not having that, Brad. Surely you got to find a way to watch the game.
Like I will. But you know what? It's one of those things, where you think, I just love to switch on my phone. Oh, we won! Then there's no pressure. But no, I will definitely find a place to watch it. Definitely. I'd have a few beers on.
I got to take this phone call and slip into the pub on the corner.
And have a few beers under my belt as well. So which I think I'll need. But hopefully we'll do the right thing and then the game. That's when you think of it, that's only just over a week ago away. The North London derby. Wow.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night as well, which
dear.
I'm surprised to put it on a Thursday night, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you want to take this super chat, David.
Yeah, Chase Mullen says, lads, I'm as delusional as it gets. When someone calls me delusional, I take it as a compliment. Same as me. I do too. We're of the same club, my man. I love that. As a true hardcore fan, I have to be. Love getting me hopes shattered just to build up again. I'm exactly like you, Chase.
Beautifully written.
Honestly, if someone could explain me in one sentence, that would be it.
I tend to go the opposite way of having low expectations, so everything's good if it happens, sort of thing. Whereas if you're up there and getting let down, it's always better to not expect much, but actually be surprised. So,
might as well just put this in the description, Dave. We might as well just put this in the description or in the about section of the channel. Might as well just put Chase's quotes here, and then just wrote the Harris Army. Because this is probably what the majority of the Harris Army even feels like in most cases. Chase, I must say, beautifully written.
I really do try and be as positive as I possibly can. Because I know it's bad for me not to be, but it's difficult. But sorry, go on.
Each to their own. I mean, you can't look. Everyone supports their club in a different way. Some people can't deal with building themselves up and being hurt, so they set low expectations. But look, me just personally, I mean, you could put me in the middle of a war zone and I'll be with one arm and I'd still find it positive. I'd still turn around and say, well, look, it's me wanking arm, so I'm okay. At the end of the day, I'll always find a positive. I will always find a positive in any situation. So
that's brilliant. I love that. That's brilliant.
And never change. Never tell anyone or never let anybody change it. Keep supporting the club that way. I love it.
Yeah. Look, this is what I love about this channel and the people that are on it. Everyone's got their different ways of looking at things, and I do actually absolutely love and admire your positivity. I mean, it's brilliant. I envy it in a way. I really envy it in a way. It's a great way of looking at things. But each their own. It's
exactly. Everyone tries to protect themselves from heartbreak one way or another. It doesn't matter what way you try and do it.
Big up, Chase. Really, really generous as well. Really, really generous, Chase. And I must say, this one is so perfectly written, my man, and it just sounds great to read out loud as well. And Dark Sun G, forgot to thank you as well. Really, really generous.
Legend.
Dark Sun G too.
Legend. Big up Dark Sun G. Brad, anything else you want to speak about? Anything else on your chest that you need to get off?
Let's think. Oh, well, yeah.
What about Alfie Devine and Scarlett, maybe?
Sorry?
What about Alfie Devine and Scarlett that Tottenham have said they're going to put them out on loan next season?
Oh, really? Yeah, I think for at the start of the season we had this discussion, and I actually said that I didn't want to see Dane Scarlett go on loan because I wanted to see him learn under Harry Kane or whatever. And I thought he'd get a lot more games than he did because of the Europa Conference League. But now I'm sort of thinking that's probably a good idea actually to and it doesn't have to be Championship. It could be like a League Two team. What they've done with Troy Barrett and just sort of raise them up. You know what? At the grounds they have like the big TV screens in the bars there, and when they have the lineups coming in, you know, and they have the pictures of the players. And Dane Scarlett was on the bench yesterday. And when you see the picture of Dane Scarlett, you suddenly realise how young he is.
Yeah.
You know, he's a kid. He's
he actually looks quite old. He looks quite old for how young he is.
So.
Like, to be honest, he's massive.
I
think he's
massive.
massive.
To me, when I saw the picture, like, you know, I thought, wow, he's a kid. It's like, well,
I know he looks like a kid, but he had a massive growth spurt. I mean, to be honest, he's 3 or 4 inches taller than me, you know, at his age, you know, as well. And so I don't know. He's still probably, you know, looks probably in person. I know what you're saying. Yeah, probably still has the baby face. But yeah, kid's still going through a growth spurt. That's how young he is. He's still going through growth spurts.
I hope, so maybe loaning him might be could be a good idea. I haven't seen enough of Alfred Devine, but what I have seen, he's looked pretty good. I'm still reading more and more things from reputable journalists about that we're going to throw money at stuff. Conte's going to have the funds to rebuild the team because we do need it, definitely. I mean, he's done very well with what he's had, and the fact that we're even thinking about getting top 4 is amazing in my eyes. But I think, so I'm hoping that what I'm reading will happen. I'm hoping that, I mean, he said that, I mean, he's always, you know, we've always had discussion before. He's always said in press conferences, he says what he's thinking and what he wants without actually saying it. You know, and then he sort of said about when he's denying all the PSG rumours, and then he said, well, we'll have a sit down and work out at the end of the season, work out what's the best solution. You know, he's sort of saying, you know, that to me, that's little hidden messages there. And
of course.
know, and he's got the team playing like it is without decent wing backs, basically. You know, as much as I go on about, you know, I do like the effort that Emerson puts in. I do admire him for that he tries. But at the end of the day, our wing backs aren't good enough at the moment. You know, we need better wing backs to do that. We need that central midfielder, that sort of, you know, Ericsson type player. We probably need another top quality defender. And then, I mean, as well as Dyer and Davis has played, you don't really want them to be your first choice. You want them to be your squad players, and so you can have players. You want squad players that you can interchange, you know, and still get the same. I mean,
even during this good run of form, though, Brad, they've still shown moments of, you know, old versions of themselves. Is maybe how you would say,
on Sunday, I think Davis made a horrendous error that almost cost the goal. You know, so it's still there. You know, I do believe that Romero made an error as well. But I'm sure he lost the ball at some stage. But anyway, he had a cracking game anyway. So, but we need those sort of players. Certainly, if we want to challenge for what we want to challenge for, which I think is what Conte wants. Conte next season, he's want to challenge for the title. You know,
well, I mean, Conte's not going to sit here and celebrate getting Europa League or you know, a big trophy made up for getting top 4. Conte wants real silverware in his hands. He wants silverware. He can sit at home, polish every morning. You know, I won that. You know, that's what the sort of guy he is.
Yeah, so, he'll want that, and he'll want. I think the other thing I read that they're trying to think of Conte as being a long-term thing at Tottenham, which would be totally against his history. But if that's the case, then you can see him wanting to compete next season and do much in the same way as what we did under Pochettino. We if you compete for the title but don't win it, and then you're just guaranteed second or third and your Champions League, you sort of take it as granted, really. You're not flying for that Champions League for that's going to come. So I think that we don't know what's going to happen at Chelsea with their finances. We don't know what's going to happen at Man United. That could be a rebuild with Den Hag. So there's no reason why, if we get the right players in, why we can't be, I'm not saying nailed on, but one of the favourites to say third spot next season.
100%.
You know, we're still a long way behind Liverpool and Man City, but we have to hope that when we're on the up, that they have, you know, they're on the down, which happens with clubs.
Yeah.
They up,
I
down,
think that
down.
third spot is up for grabs. I really do think that third spot is up for grabs next season. And it's probably more about rebuilding sooner and better than the other teams. Because, Man United need to rebuild.
Well,
Arsenal, to an extent, still kind of need to rebuild. You look as well at West Ham. They're still going to improve every season. And then the other teams that are sort of challenging, Leicester City, of course, you know, are very disappointed with their turn, you know, this season too. There will be some teams that are going to try to, you know, switch things around this summer. And it's just who does it best and who does it better and who does it sooner is probably going to be the one challenging for third next season.
That's the other thing, Jack. That's the other thing, Jack, I've been reading about is that Tottenham are set to ditch their youth first policy and bringing experienced players that are ready to go. So we hit the ground running next season, which I think we have to do. You know, this one for the future business has been going for too long now. The future is never going to happen.
We barely play our youth anyway. So
well,
we
exactly.
barely play our youth from the academy, and the young players that we brought in, bar maybe the ones that we brought in under Paratici, have been pretty shameless, or you know, I don't know, just been pretty woeful. So
we could be in a situation where we hopefully get players in early, so we get the pre-season and that sort of thing. And so I'm very positive about the future if the club back Conte. And let's face it, if they don't back him, I mean that's the end for Enoch. I think it'll be too much. There'll be too big of an uproar because the people have been sitting on the fence will fall off on the Levy outside of the fence, you know. So
look, this summer will tell us everything we need to know about this.
Exactly.
What direction they intend to take it, my man. But look, Brad, brilliant having you on. Great discussion as always, my man.
Great talk.
Love being on. In 3 weeks' time, I might be on your show from Toronto with Brian. So
that's right. Maybe at the Scotland Yard.
We'll arrange to get you on something with the two of you in this together.
Yeah, it's quite possible. The blue sofa will won't be seen for a few weeks.
we'll have a different. We might have Niagara Falls or something in the background.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah.
But big up, Brad, my man, and we'll see you again.
And don't forget, everyone, click like and subscribe, and I can actually point in the right direction, and subscribe to these great guys, and love being on the show, and best of luck for the rest of the show, and hello to all the people in the chat, and everyone that's going to be on, that's been on before me and after me, and love you all. And my voice is going, and I've got a couple of beers to drink before I turn into night. But I'll watch you guys on the TV now. I'll put it on my TV and watch the rest of the show.
Appreciate
it, guys.
Enjoy them beers.
Bye.
See you, Brad.
Gotcha, Brad. Well done. Great talk.
Always great discussions with Brad.
That flew by, actually, with Brad. That actually really flew by, actually, to be honest. That was a really good discussion. Really well done, Brad. That flew by for me, at least. But everybody, honestly, we got so many super chats to go through, and I would say really appreciate the support from so many people today.
Yeah.
You really don't know how much it means. And it's also been really good discussion points and really good talking points as well. But yeah, I just want to say again, massive thank you to Dark Sun G and Chase Mullins so far. Really appreciate it.
Big up. Rashad Chowdhury. Love the name. Absolutely love that name. Rashad Chowdhury.
Sounds like a footballer, to be fair. Sounds like a footballer. Sounds like a left winger that you would have signed.
Chowdhury plays. There's a guy called
Hassan Chowdhury plays for Leicester City. Or whatever his name is.
Yeah, big up. Says Liverpool and Spurs will score. It will depend who scores the most. For the Scums, Romero will pack them in Amazon Prize and Express box and send them back. No, look, I think both teams will score at the weekend. I think Spurs have enough quality to put Liverpool to the sword, and I just think, look, whether it be our own downfall or whatever, Liverpool will find a way to put one by us. And look, I agree. It could come down to who scores the most, but I think the first goal has to go Tottenham's way. I think that's very, very important. Very, very important it goes our way, because I think if they get the first goal, kind of revs them up, revs the crowd up even more with them going for the league, and probably makes us disbelieve a little, Rashad. So I think first goal has to go our way. But as for Romero, Honestly, I'd say he can't wait. You know, he probably has a little ribbon for the box as well. Thank you, but I don't want these. I'm just going to return them. You know, send them back to Mikel Arteta over across at the Emirates next week or something like that. But honestly, Jack, I think he's like you. He's like us all, to be honest with you, a massive fan of Romero.
Yeah, he's a massive fan of Romero here. You can tell. I mean, is he someone that packs them into a box, or is he more of a butcher? You know, maybe Rashad. You know, I feel like he's probably not even nice enough, you know, to pack them into a box and send them home. I feel like he just rips them apart and just leaves them on the field, you know, like scraps, you know, kind of for the trash or for the garbage, you know, for, you know, someone else to pick up, to be fair. Like, I don't even know if he's that kind and polite, you know, Rashad. I think you're actually talking about Romero's good side. You know, Romero, probably the nice side of him, you know, would pack them up in a nice, you know, box, you know, send them back to where they came. To be honest, I don't even know if they're going to be able to leave the stadium after what Romero does to them, Rashad. I'm not even sure if they're going to make it out alive, my man.
If I was Romero, I'd just be growling at them in the tunnel. Do you know when they usually come to shake your hand, you have to do all this sportsmanship for the Sky Sports cameras, you know, clap each other on the back and shake hands. I reckon Romero would just growl at him. You know, get your hand away from me. I'm going to eat you alive out there. You know, you'd just intimidate him. Intimidate him before he even gets out there. Make up his mind that he's already going to pass it off before you come near him, before he gets out there. That's what I'd be doing. But Romero's not a packer. He doesn't have time to fold them up nicely. He's one of them guys, if it doesn't fit, he'll make it fit. That's it at the end. Yeah. But big up Rashad.
Big up Rashad.
Support, brother.
Great
really
name,
appreciate it. Dermot, who is on next, he says, we would get top 4. We all must have confidence and get behind the team. No room for any fan negativity. We'll all must be 1,000% behind the team. Exactly. And look, I've said this for a while now. Take yourself back to October when we lost against United 3-0 under Nuno. Take yourself back to where we were in January, losing to Chelsea, getting knocked out of the cup and all the likes, and how bad things were. Nobody had us in a conversation for this race. The fact that Antonio Conte, the training team, and the players have got us into, well, not all the players, half of the squad, half of the squad have got us to this position. You've got to give them absolute full credit for it. They've turned it around. They could have easily just, you know, packed up shop, season's over, we'll just see out the games, and then we'll go on holiday and regroup, or else we'll look to get out of here. But they didn't do it. They banded together, they fought, and now they're going for the top 4. Even if we miss out, I'm still going to say the exact same thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be just as gutted and as pissed off as the next man. I'm going to complain and moan just as much as the next man. But I'll also keep in the back of my head that they've done a very good job to get us here. Should we be here scrapping for top 4? No, we shouldn't. We should have a better football team on the pitch, and we shouldn't have to go through the shit we had to go through the last 2 years. But we have, and now it's about progressing and rebuilding to get back to the promised land. So hopefully it can all be done this summer. But big up, Dermot, my man. Big up. Everyone has to get behind the team. Brilliant. Love that.
Love it, Dermot.
J. Cole says, Dave, if we don't make top 4 and Kane decides to leave, how would you feel about Kane? I would stop supporting him. I'll be honest with you. I'd stop supporting him. Look, I only love players that are at Tottenham. That's all I care about. You know, players that are at Tottenham. People can come to me and say, oh, Rodrigo, I really like him off Leeds. Yeah, good player. I like him. But am I a fan? Am I going to keep an eye on how he does each week? No, nowhere near it. I care about what people do at Tottenham. So if we saw Kane and wanted to leave, I'd be Kane's number 1 hater. I'd go from number 1 fan in the world to number 1 hater, and I'd still tweet him and let him know I hate him. So it works both ways. As long as you're at Tottenham, I'll be your biggest fan. As long as you play with pride and do something in the jersey. But if you're not at Tottenham, I'll just send you hate mail. Simple as.
From the guy, he goes from the guy collecting his hair, you know, in the bin, you know, to poking out, you know, tires, you know, to, you know, pissing on his car, you know, to, you know, throwing, scratching, you know, his car and everything. So, Dave, if you were able to flip-flop like that, that would be very impressive. It really would show, you know, man of his word. I must say, it probably even explains why Dave was so adamant, you know, in defending Harry Kane, because he's probably this close, you know, to go in the complete opposite direction. So Harry Kane really put Dave through the ropes. Dave had to fight, you know, for his life to defend his man. And so looks like it would go the opposite way, Jay. You know, looks like it would go the opposite way. Dave gave you a very good and honest answer, Jay. You really got it out of him. Great question, my man. Great question.
Big up, Jay. Really appreciate that, my man. Absolutely love it. Big up, Jay. Brilliant. Absolutely. That's the first time I've been asked that, you know. Funny enough, no matter how much I love Kane, that's the first time I've been asked that question. I love that. Jerome, Big up. He says, I would agree with Dark Sun G. We could get something out of this game if we did not have Emerson at right wing back, because he's going to get fun in this game. Jack, are you worried about Emerson going into this game?
Coming up against Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz has had a good game against practically everyone, it feels like, at this stage.
Yeah.
My thought is that, Jerome, is that Emerson seems to play best in these sort of games. It feels like when all you have to ask him to do is defend in a game, which is probably what's going to be the case here. That's all we're going to need him to do, is just be defensively solid. You look at the game Sessegnon had, against Liverpool. It's not like he really did that many things, actually on the ball that day. Like, the guy barely even crossed, his own halfway line. When you really looked at it, the reason why Sessegnon had such a good game was because it was such a good defensive performance and shutting down the likes of Salah. I think we're going to need to expect something similar from the likes of Emerson. Mm-hmm. Can Emerson pull that off, Jerome? We've seen him do it. As much as, we probably don't back him, we have seen him pull it off before. Ask me in a few days, Jerome, about how my feelings are with Emerson. It's like a weather report, Jerome. I'm a bit, far out from the forecast here, and how I predict, his performance to be. But like I said, really what he's going to need to do is just have a really, really solid defensive performance, and that probably would be enough. We're not going to need him to do too much going forward. That's going to be more the responsibility of other players at the end of the day. So is he going to get spun? I don't know. I would say Doherty gets spun more often than he does, I would say. But he hasn't been as good defensively recently, Emerson. But, yeah, this is a big test for him. And he really only has one job. That's defend. And if he can't do that, then I don't know, Jerome. No hope for him.
No, big up, Jerome. And look, my answer for it.
Ask me in a few days. The forecast isn't in yet, Jerome. Ask me in a few days.
No, big up, Jerome. And look, Dark Sun G has answered him back. And he says, Jerome, didn't we win with Royale against City? Sessegnon went on a great run from the Liverpool home game after keeping Salah in his pocket. Says, please do it again. And this is what I was just going to say to kind of Jerome is if you give him the same responsibilities that we gave him against Man City, which is just don't get forward, hold your position, and just do the right thing. I think I'm not worried about Emerson, to be honest with you. I'm actually not too worried. It's if we're looking for him to be an outlet going forward. That's where I get concerned, because I'm not sure it's going to happen. Look, he got overconfident yesterday, was shouldering balls out to players and that near the end of the game. But he's not going to get to do that against Liverpool. I think you give him the same instructions that you did against City, I think we'll be fine, to be honest with you. I'd actually more worry about Sessegnon. I know he had a great game against City. I know he had a great game against Liverpool at home. But just the last couple of games, I still haven't been overly impressed with him. I thought he was better at the weekend, but I still wasn't. I still think there's bits to his games that if he does that against Liverpool, we get caught and we get ripped open. So I'll be more worried about him going into this game. But Dark Sun G, I like you. Hopefully he can do it again. I want these players to prove me wrong when I say my thoughts on them. But big up Dark Sun G.
We got the result. Jerome and Dark Sun G, just quickly, we did get the result against Liverpool. We got that draw, and Emerson was on the pitch. So Man City result and the Liverpool result, Emerson was there. So hopefully, just hopefully, maybe he is that player that is a bit more useful in those bigger games. But that is being very optimistic. But Jerome, great question. Dark Sun G, even better answer. Really
there's more, Jack.
You both.
There's more. Jerome hit back, but we'll just take Faz Radfire. Fazzy was sandwiched in between them. He says, the pressure on Liverpool will play in our favour. Do you know what? I really do hope so. I mean, like I said, I would love to absolutely spoil the party. I have no problem being the party pooper whatsoever. I mean, in fact, I'm the sort of guy that would probably relish being the party pooper. So I would absolutely love that to happen. I've seen them crack underneath the pressure. I'd love it. My phone would be out. I don't even think I'd finished watching. I'd be making phone calls. Absolutely love it. Big up Faz Radfire, brother. Really appreciate support.
Big up Faz.
And Jerome says, Dark Sun G, all I want is to have these boys prove me wrong. If they put the performance on the season at Anfield, then top 4 race is on. And exactly, Jerome, you've hit the nail on the head. Look, no matter whether you go a soft way about criticising the players or a really mean way about criticising the players, which I do, I like to think I'm straight to the sort of point about these guys. At the end of the day, all I want is for them to prove me wrong. I mean, in a normal environment, normal working environment, if you get brought into an office and a manager tells you what you're, is saying to you, look, what you're not doing is good enough and stuff like that, I mean, it's they want you to prove them wrong. You go out there and you're fuming, you prove them wrong. So why, as a footballer, should they cry about that? At the end of the day, exactly. All we want is for them to prove us wrong. Now, I hear these footballers, these grown men, by the way, grown men, complaining about, what we see on social media. Okay, grand. But if you're going to accept the love on social media, accept the hate that comes with it. It's part and parcel of the job. And second of all, if you don't want the hate and you want the adulation, then make sure you live your life and you're on top of your profession, day in, day out, if you want to keep that adulation. A bit like, a Ronaldo does, or people like that. You want the adulation 24/7. Do enough yourself to generate that adulation. Don't cry when people are slating you for having a bad game. I know at the other end of the argument, people are going to say, but everyone has an off day. Yeah, fine. But then have that off day, but then get out there the next day and show everyone that it was an off day instead of crying about it and letting it fester. I agree with you there, Jerome. When we say stuff about these players, all we want is to be proven wrong. It's all we want.
Yeah. And hopefully Emerson proves you wrong. Hopefully Emerson proves you wrong, Jerome, and he doesn't get spun. And he actually shows the defender that we sort of had faith in at one stage, Jerome. I hope he does prove you wrong, my man. Absolutely, Jerome. Well said. Well said.
Big up, Jerome. Love that. And Dark Zone G says, imagine if Blues lose 3 out of their 4 games and then drop into Europa League. Lol. They only got 4th last season because we beat Leicester. 3rd is possible. Look, what I will say is it's not beyond the realms of impossibility. I mean, they're not playing too well at the minute. They are dropping points. I think maybe there is an element to them being on holiday. But I'll be honest with you, Dark Sun G. Look, I think even if we did get within touch and distance at 3rd, I think they'd band together and make sure they do enough to keep 3rd. To be honest with you, I just do not see us snatching 3rd. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, Jack.
Yeah. I'll just quickly say this. I've said this 1,000 times this season, adamantly and just defiantly. I think Chelsea have been and are the 3rd best team in the Premier League this season. I think they will finish as the 3rd best team in the Premier League this season. I'd be shocked if they didn't, regardless of these patches of form that they are going through. I just still think they're the 3rd best team, regardless, when on their day. And Dark Sun G, I want to be proven wrong. Taking Jerome's words here, I want to be proven wrong, but I respect, that team. I think that team has shown that they are actually capable, being the 3rd best team by far on their day, But they're going through a bad set of form, and who knows, Dark Sun G, maybe undeservedly someone else might get that 3rd spot, Dark Sun G, but looking forward to it. And Dark Sun G, usually you're the one that's right. I'm the one that's wrong when it comes to these sort of predictions. That's why you're the one that calls us out for it as well. But Dark Sun G, I just want to say massive, massive support today, brother, and really do appreciate it. And I must say, if Chelsea were to bottle it like that, that would just be glorious. And then I would come to you, Dark Sun G, with my forgiveness. I would come to you with forgiveness.
Big up, Dark Sun G.
Or
Big
my
up,
apologies.
Jerome.
Sorry, I come to you with my apologies. Come with you with my apologies with mercy.
Really appreciate the support, boys. It's absolutely unbelievable. Everyone else, keep smashing that like button. Keep smashing that subscribe button if you are new. And like the boys, feel free to get your super chats in. We've got 2 guests left. So let's start getting them on. And the first one, we've got him. You know him as Dermot, but we know him as the guy who's going to let us put up what sort of tattoo he's going to get on the internet and where. But look, let's get him on. It is Dermot, and then we've got Michael to end. But let's get on. Dermot, how you keep him on, man?
Yeah, I'm living in the best county in Ireland, by the way. It's not Kildare. I'm not having this now. Right, Wexford is the best county.
Do you know how far you push it to be noticed? You put Wexford strawberry vans selling strawberries in every county just because you're dying that much to be recognized.
I know. It's great advertising, isn't it?
So, Jack, over here, right, there's these, trailers, and they're converted into selling strawberries, and they're that desperate to be put on the map in Ireland to have them in every single fucking motorway or highway or road across the country just to get Wexford on the map.
Gotta spread the deliciousness of Wexford.
Gold. It's advertising gold. We are the best county. We're the best hurling side in the southeast.
Strawberries aren't even from Wexford. You offload them off the boat and say they're from Wexford. But look, Dermot, let's get into talking about Tottenham. I mean, What was your
Don't be
thoughts
telling
about the
people
game
our
at the weekend?
secrets now, Dave. Now, go on, don't be letting out all the secrets
I know
now.
what happens, lad. I know what happens. But look, what's your thoughts about the game at the weekend, man?
Absolutely fantastic. Great win. Romero, Bentancur again, brilliant. Them two sit in the room, right, with pictures of who they're going to play. And they just pace the room. They don't have tellies, they don't eat, they don't drink, they don't do anything, just sit there. They're like two prize fighters, ready to go. And then I mean, we had to beat Leicester to put this top 4 run going. Going to Liverpool, we will get result with Liverpool. It is. I don't believe in a draw. I don't believe in a defeat. I believe in a win. And I will believe until there's the last minute of the last game of injury time that we will get top 3. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. It's Champion League. Here we come.
Have you gone to a different fortune teller than winning Kelly?
No, I haven't. I've just got this belief we can get top 3. I've been saying it for months. Chelsea will fall apart.
But do you not think do you not think even if we got it down to 2 points with last game of the season that they're just going to do enough regardless to get over the line?
My head's telling me no, but deep down probably.
Because you have to remember as well, if they open up top 3, I mean, they're opening up to Arsenal as well as us, you know.
Yeah, but we will get Champions League. I mean, I have no doubt in whatsoever. I mean, we have to believe as a fan base. We can't just keep going in this Spursy attitude. There's nothing Spursy about us. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're a big club. Okay, I grant you we haven't been that successful.
Yeah.
But we are a big club. We're a giant. We're one of the giants of English football and European football. And we have to get this into our heads as a fan base. If we want to be big, we've got to support them as a big fan base. And we've got to get behind them. There's no point going up to Anfield and thinking, oh, we might get a point or we might get a defeat. We're going up there to win. And there's nothing more about it. And we have to go up there, support them till our last blood drips out of us. It's the Bill Nick way. It's the Tottenham way. And we always should be that way to the day we all die.
100%. And look, I'm going to ask you something else on that. But will you just answer King Hoddle's question for me? Because I already know the answer. But where do all the top horses, Irish horses, come from there, mate? The horse racing county of Ireland?
No, it's not there. No, it's just, do you know what? I can't think at the moment. Hang on.
I tell you, it's bloody county of there. Horse racing
Carlo.
We've got more racetracks down here than we do football pitches, lad. Honestly, it's ridiculous. You know, we've got famous ones as well. We've got Naas Racecourse, Punchestown, and the Curran. They're all within 15 minutes of each other.
Yeah. When's the last time you won anything in GAA?
Yeah, look, we won't forget about that because we're trying to put that right at the minute. But look, Dermot, you know, when it comes to, when it comes to sorting out Tottenham, I mean, look, I've said this. I think this summer will tell us everything we need to know exactly what direction they have, purely because where we are at with Conte in there, Paratici, you know, the way we've changed that whole system, and then the players we needed, you know, and it's glaringly obvious now to the board, if they couldn't see it before, now how short we are in terms of squad depth. Do you think they will restore some, because they also have to invest in this team to get the fans to be able to restore some pride in this club again? So do you think they will have a big, because all the news reports I'm seeing today is that they've promised every last cent, you know, is going to building you know, bringing in players to help Conte. They won't be wasting any money on youth players and stuff like that. Do you believe them?
I believe them when I see it. I believe Conte. I believe Paratici. I don't believe a word Levy says. I mean, that fella's got a longer nose than Pinocchio does. But we have to back and we have to spend the money. We have this, apparently we can spend up to 400 million with this fair play thing. Well, let's do it then. We have to build now. There's no point building for the future. As Brad said, we're sick of hearing the building for the future. And we don't use the young players anyway. You look at Liverpool, you look at Chelsea, they buy players for now. And next season, I don't want us pushing for top 3. I want us pushing for the league. Yeah. We should be pushing for the league every season. If we want, in my mind, we're a big club. The board have to back the manager as a big club. And that means putting the money where their mouth is, giving Conte what he wants, and letting him buy who he wants. There's no point doing something half-mast. You have to go all the way.
I agree. I agree, Dermot. And now's the time, for them to really prove exactly what you're saying. Let's say a Bastoni or somebody comes in, as the first signing, a 60 million, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million sort of kind of pound sort of signing comes in right away. Would that maybe give you some sort of inkling that maybe they're sort of living up to sort of those rumors that they're spending big? Or would you still say, there could still be some Levy antics at play?
I think they have to start. I mean, we could get Ericsson in for a free. Well, it's not free, but a free in certain ways. We can get Diablo from Juventus in for a free. We can get these players in, get them signed up pre-contract. 1st of June, we like Tottenham Hotspur are delighted to announce the signing of A, B, and C. Get the player you just said in, Jack. If it's going to cost us 60 million, pay the fucking 60 million. Let's not go in. Let's not go in with all this usual baloney. If we go in 10 million euro lower, we might get him. But it looks like we've made an effort.
Do you know what? I agree with that. Look, your main targets go and get. But look, we also have to accept that negotiations have been a part of transfers for years upon years upon years upon years. But look, I agree with you. When it comes to the main targets that Conte wants, the ones that really will transform this team, you go and pay. You don't enter the negotiations and you get it done swiftly. But you will see negotiations. I'm just going to say to Spurs fans out there, as much as I agree with people and I'm on their side about Levy, negotiations have always been a part of football, and you will see negotiations happen for players. Your problem with us is ours just tend to be a lot more public than everybody else's, and that's the biggest problem. And again, it's not about how much you spend. But Dermot, I was saying this the other day. I mean, you go through Liverpool's team. A lot of them have come from smaller clubs. The only player that has come from a massive club is Thiago. He's the only one. The only reason why they've been able to get him in is because they built the foundations of everything else. We just have to identify right and buy right. You've got to buy the right player that Conte wants, that has all the attributes that he needs. You've got to buy them. You just got to do your scouting smart.
We've never been like this. Tottenham have always bought the players for the right positions. We won the double. I said it before and I'll say it again. We won the double. Went out and bought Jimmy Greaves. The 70s, we got Martin Peters in. Okay, we brought in some young youth in as well. We've got Ali Gozine. We got a few other players. 80, we come up. We've got Ozzy, Ricky, Graham Roberts. We're all bought from lower, like Graham Roberts was non-league. We never spent big, but we bought the right players for the right position. Under Enoch Levy, that hasn't happened. We've bought for big money and players that haven't produced, players that haven't been worth what we've paid for them. Yeah. And Tottenham used to stand for something. We have to get back to being the best club in London. Tottenham was a name that was to be proud of. I'm proud to support Spurs. I know you two are. Many of the people watching are. But there are some fans that are still embarrassed, and we shouldn't be like that.
No, should be.
We should be on the top of the building, shouting loud and proud who we are, what we are, and where we're going. Enoch need to understand. If Levy doesn't want a revolt and everyone going down there with pitchforks and light and lanterns and bloody shovels, he needs to spend big because we need to come back. We need to be challenging for the league. Because this is our best chance since Bill Nick, since the double side, for us to do anything.
100%. Spar. I just see people saying in the chat about Romero and Kulu and that around 65 to 8 million of the budget be gone already. From what I'm aware of and what I remember reading is because I remember I brought this up during the January transfer window. I remember going and looking at open stuff. And from what I remember reading is that it was kind of said that the money for Romero they've been putting by this year so that it won't come out of the budget this summer. Look, with Kulusevski, it may well come out of this summer budget, but again, that's one you can hold off till after the summer, and between the summer and January to pay for it. It doesn't necessarily have to be triggered this summer. To be honest with you, yes, if we trigger, I think this summer, I think we get knock a couple of million off it. But I don't think what we're paying for Romero is coming out of the summer transfer budget. That's what my understanding is.
I understood that as well. It's not,
but you never know. You never know.
No, you don't know.
I'm sure you read it somewhere where it will be like, because where it'd be put out. Oh well, Tottenham don't really have that much to spend because they still have to play for Romero. It's like, but I thought you said back in January that would affect the summer budget. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
But, Aaron Dove says, up the Dubs and the Wicklow boys. You Kildare and Wexford boggers can ride a donkey. Sorry, lads. No offence, men. Love yous. First of all, we don't have donkeys in Kildare, horse racing capital of Ireland. So it'll be a horse. And I'm allergic to horses, so I can't do it. So unfortunately, I won't be riding one, my man. I won't be, but...
And if I sat on the horse, I'd probably squash it. So I won't be riding one either. So...
Look, it's better than being a sheep shagger, Aaron, like them Wicklow people, surrounded by sheep. A few too many jars falling out of the pub. They all look the same, my man. They all look the same up there.
You see them wandering around Wicklow Mountains, at night with little lamps, wandering around like lemons following each other, after a few pints at night. That's what you see.
And as for Dublin, I believe you're called the Jackeens, so but no, look, your GAA team is shit this year. I'm delighted about that, though, Aaron. I have to say, I'll be honest, I was delighted when we bet you in the league. 22 years. I mean, I was absolutely buzzing my titties off, to be honest with you. But look, you look like you're about to make a solid comeback for the championship, so we'll wait and see, and I'll hopefully see you in the Leinster final, Aaron.
I can't say much about Dublin because my other half's from Dublin, so I can't really say much on that part of it.
You probably see a hand come across. And Nick says if David is father, Jack is father Dougal, then Dermot must be Bishop Lee and Len Brennan.
No, I'm the fella that sits in the corner and goes, drink. That's me.
Oh, I love it.
Big up, lady. And also Graham in the house as well. Graham is in the house as well. Just want to say
big up, Graham. Good to see you in the
big
building.
Up, Graham.
I believe you have a phone now, so you gotta get in contact with. Email me your number, my man. Email me your number. I want to get in contact with you. But big up, Graham. I hope you're keeping well. And big up THFC McGrath all the way from Oliver Freeman, which is Portlaoise. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. But look, Dermot, anything else you want to talk about, my man?
Not really. I mean, we'll beat Liverpool, we'll beat Arsenal, and then top four's us. I mean, Arsenal game's going to be so important. The fans that will have to make that stadium like a fortress. I mean, I watched Liverpool when they played in their semi-final, and it really got me thinking. They have the flags up there, they have the banners, and you look at the South Stand. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
That there's no flags and there's no banners and there's no even the song. Barry Manilow, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I mean, is Levy that tight? He can't even get himself a proper DJ. We could pick any other song though. Barry Manilow. What's he going to play next week? Copacabana or something?
Do you know Jesus. That guy? Do you know that guy that's been clipped and put up on some of the socials recently? The one playing the guitar and they're all singing.
Yeah.
Have they put him now in the stadium for after games, or do you know anyone know where he?
I think he is. There was somebody
after the game. I'd be buzzing.
Yeah, I was singing. I mean, I saw somebody singing after we lost to Wolves, and I really wasn't in much interest sitting watching.
When you lose, around
like AC/DC, Thunderstruck. If you ever listen to that song, it sounds like Tottenham. Like when they're saying thunder, it's Tottenham.
But yeah, Dermot, there's something you can do. You can make up Tottenham lyrics to Thunderstruck by AC/DC, lad.
I already have. I mean, that's a great thing to get the South Stand going. And get the flags waving and get the banner. There used to be banners at White Hart Lane. There used to be flags. There used to be stuff like that. It's just, I don't know.
Anymore.
Oh, so it's okay for Liverpool to do it, but we can't. It's okay for them to have statues of like...
They make the rules.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay for them to have a statue of their greatest managers, but we can have a statue of Bill Nick or Jimmy Greaves or Martin Pete or Steve Perriman or Danny Blanchard outside our stadium. What are they afraid of?
Yeah.
They're trying to erode our past, our history. So all we remember is the Enoch era.
trying to make it more corporate, Dermot, I believe, is what they're trying to do. Because when you have all that old style stuff, you associate that with the working class fan. You know, the fan that's a bit rough around the edges and stuff like that. And by the looks of it, they're trying to make it more corporate where, you know, people just come in, sit down, have a good time at the game and none of the rough and tumble and stuff like that.
Do you know, I'm proud I come from a working class Irish family. Like you did, Dave, and like you probably did as well, Jack, a working class American family. I'm proud to come from that. I'm proud that I was a working class Spurs fan. And that's gone. The core of that was the core of our fan base. And that's gone because of money. And there's going to be time where it's going to go back to that. Younger generations of fans, fathers taking their sons, and then they're going taking their sons. That's gone. And I think we've lost something. Football in general has lost its something in a way for that, because that's what made football more accessible. It was made for the fans, for the people that couldn't afford to go to like that, and that's what football was formed on.
Yeah,
and we were made by 4 lads standing under a lampshade.
Yep.
Do you know? Because they wanted to do something in the winter.
Yeah.
Do you know? I just think it's ridiculous, and it's very sad that we, the working classes, are being forced out.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, lad. Look, I don't like it. I think that I would love to see more flags in there, more banners and all that sort of stuff. I'd absolutely love to see it. And look, Dermot, maybe it's something you can bring up to the trust to push forward. You know.
That trust is shite. Surely.
Look, maybe for that sort of stuff, no. But even if you put it in there and try and get something going, But look, to be fair to the trust,
I sent an email to the trust 3 months ago. It was something that Ben said to me, and I sent an email to the trust. Look, why is there no statues? Why is there no, flags allowed in? I didn't even get a response. They couldn't even bother to email me back, even just saying, "We've got your email. We will look into it." Do you know?
Yeah, that I don't agree with. That I don't agree with. But the trust aren't useless. I mean, there's many vulnerable people out there that rely on the trust.
Yeah, they do good for that. I grant you, and I've always said that. But when it comes to the footballing side, like for the Super League, where were they? There was nothing out for that. When there's stuff like that, I mean, as Ben said, there's no food that his mother can eat in the stadium. Where the trust for that?
Yeah.
Do you know, where's the trust when it's looking after the elderly players like Jimmy Greaves? And it does it when it suits them. We should be looking after these older players. They put their lives on the line for us during their career when they're earning less money than the players do now.
Yeah.
And it's the trust should be there for doing good. Yes, to do good for disabled. And I must admit, when I went to Tottenham and Wolves game, 1 or 2 of them were very good because of my health problems. They were brilliant, the stewards, and Ben was as well. And yeah, that's great. But the trusts have to do not just for one, for all our fan base. And this is where the problem is. You never hear anything of the trust. The trust don't come out and say anything. So, I'm going to email them tomorrow about this, and I will do it, and I'll let you know how I get on. But
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's no harm in asking the questions. I mean, you look at the Arsenal Emirates Stadium. As much as I hate them, sometimes it can look like an old school stadium because they're allowed their flags, their banners with their sayings and everything else on it.
Yep.
I actually worked on there for 5 years, shamefully.
You did that. Is a shame. There, big up, Shamu. I hope you're keeping well. Very good to see you in. But look, Dermot, we've one more.
I just think, look. Yeah, I'm going to bugger off and let him get on. Sorry.
No.
I've allowed with my 10 minutes. Sorry, I do apologise.
No. Finish off what you were going to say, man.
Huh?
Finish off.
I just think we have to get behind the team. We have to get behind the team for the rest of the season. Let's all be proud of who we support, where we've come from. We are Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We can get behind. Let's get behind them like they did in the 60s for Bill Nick. So that we can again be the best club in London. The top dog, and we'll get there.
Yeah, no,
we will get there. And do you know what? And we will win. We'll win Saturday. No doubt about that. 3-0. We'll tear Liverpool apart.
I hope so. I hope so. But look, Dermot, tell people where they can find you, my man. I'm sure some of them are going to love the passion. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me in Tottenham Tantra Gold. We've gone back to our roots now. We're going to start showing we started last Sunday with the 61 Cup final. We're now going to do the finals on the date it actually happened. So I've got loads of finals up ahead, 62, the 84, 81, 82. I'm doing a lunchtime game tomorrow at mid-12, where you have your lunch. Just jump on and watch some half an hour or an hour of Tottenham in the 80s. And, you know, we're trying to get the 500. Let's get there. We seem to stuck at 415. So I just want to get above that. Let's get the 500. And, you know, but please like and subscribe this channel. It's the best channel in town. And God bless these two lads for everything they do.
No, I appreciate that, my man. I'm going to put the link in the chat there now for the channel. But Dermot, really appreciate it, my man. And we'll see you again
thank you very much.
soon, brother.
Yeah, I'll be on soon. Can I just say very quickly, thank you to Lazy 8 for doing. He's doing some work for me, and he done some thumbnails. I want to personally thank him very much for the work he does. He's absolutely brilliant at what he does. So thank you, Nick. You're very kind.
He's unbelievable. See, the word of Nicholas is spreading now, you know. Everyone's starting to realise how good he is. Big up, Nick. You're an absolute legend. Dermot, thank you very much. Put the link in here now. Everybody, Dermot, the link for Tottenham Tantra Gold is there in the chat if anyone wants to get over there and smash that subscribe button. Dermot, we'll speak to you again soon, my man.
Speak to you soon. God bless you. All right. See you later.
Brother.
Bye-bye.
Big up,
Bye-bye.
Dermot.
You too.
I was about to exit you there, Jack. My bad. I was about to take you out.
No.
I didn't even do anything wrong. But big up, Dermot. Really appreciate the call, my man. Great call as always. Let me know how you get on with the trust. And then we've got one guest left, and we will get him on. But before we do, Dark Sun G says the perfect scenario is we stop Liverpool from winning the league and then take 4 from the Gooners after they moved to the North London Derby. If Gooners lose, their fans will be raging because they postponed it and lost. Yeah, they would be absolutely
no excuses.
fuming. Jack, what do you want to say?
No excuses for them, Dark Sun G. There's no excuses for them. I think, even Arsenal fans, I mean, they couldn't even find a decent response for, the postponement of that fixture. In fact, it felt like Dark Sun G, any sort of, banter that you gave to them, saying, oh, they ran away. Oh, they couldn't even, face, Winks in midfield. They ran away from a Harry Winks, all those sort of things. Like, they've owned up to it. Like, they just blatantly admitted, that's what the Lego man wanted to do. The Lego man didn't trust them to get a result. At our stadium, he decided to use some kind of just honestly shameless tactics of somehow using the Premier League's rules, for something else, to their advantage. And Dark Sun G, sometimes a lot of things in life, what's come around or whatever it is, what's going around comes around, whatever you deal, in life, it comes right back on to haunt you, to bite you in the ass. And hopefully that's what happens here at Dark Sun G, because they have no excuses if they were to be smacked at our stadium next weekend or next week. Actually, they would have no excuses. Dark Sun G. It's been coming a long time. They've been basically just postponing it, probably telling the Premier League, this is the exact day that we want it. This is the exact time, the exact day and everything. There's probably even a bit of speculation to be had there. Dark Sun G, all I can say is, my man, I mean, they can't have any excuses. No excuses left for them.
No, none whatsoever. Remember, every gunner is a runner, my man. That's what came out of when they postponed that North London derby. Look, Mikel Arteta, he was running out of hairspray. It was during the lockdown. They couldn't import anymore for him, so he couldn't dare step out without a hair out of place. The man with the hair that can't be moved. I mean, look, I just can't wait. They're such a young team. Our team are just going to gobble them up. The likes of Højbjerg, Romero are going to smash them. You're going to turn Saka into a sack of shit. Odegaard, the cheap cleaning product, no doubt we'll be spraying him all over the place, banging the dirt. He's gone. Can't wait for that one. And Emil Smith cannot row a boat. He's going to drown at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I cannot wait to welcome them. Every gunner is a fucking runner. Big up, Dark Sun G. Appreciate the support, brother. And the bottom dude says, I strongly feel Inter will see Lautaro.
Sell
Lautaro. They will bring in Scamacca, and Arsenal are linked with him again. Would you like to see him at Spurs? He's an exceptional player, but he misses too. We talk about Lautaro Martinez at Spurs. I'll be honest with you. I actually think he's very overrated. I really do. Look, he's a decent player. For me, I just think he's overrated. I've seen a lot of this guy. I do like what he's about, but he just doesn't do it consistently enough for me, in my opinion. I just don't think he'll cut it in the Premier League, to be honest with you. I think he's more one that people, what would I say? He comes to the fore more because of the likes of the stats and all introduced now in football. But when I look at him, I think he's average enough, to be honest. Jack, I know you're going to disagree with me.
No, I kind of do agree with you. I don't even know if the stats even help him, Dave. I think he's just scored enough goals, and
maybe not
his
stats than FIFA.
Yeah, maybe FIFA, to be honest. I think it's just at his age, Dave, and the fact that he is scoring goals at his age, he's sort of living up to the hype that was there, because when they originally brought him in, he was, like an absolute kind of like raw talent, and he sort of has like blossomed into that player that they wanted him to be. So I think that's why there is that hype around Lautaro, just because he sort of has met the expectations that were set for him, when he came in originally, kind of like how Vinicius Jr. sort of did a similar thing. Like Vinicius Jr. is sort of meeting those expectations all of a sudden now. You could say Lautaro is a bit similar in that regard. What I would say, though, is that, Dave, what you said about the misses, I agree with. I think he misses some absolute howlers. Or actually, Bottom Duda is really saying that. So Bottom Duda, I agree with you. I've seen Lautaro bury the hardest of chances I've ever seen, and I've seen him miss the biggest of sitters. So that type of striker, I think, is really frustrating. I don't like those type of strikers. I think they're just so inconsistent. Then they're really hard to rely upon, because they'll be that guy that will get you a screamer from 35 yards. But when they're right in front of the box, with, any which way they can shoot it, and they'll still just put it wide, or something like that. He's that sort of player. And those players are really frustrating, to be honest. The fact that they're just quickly going for Scamacca Inter is a bit strange, because, I mean, maybe that's the Edin Dzeko replacement. Maybe they'll go with Scamacca and Dzeko, or just Scamacca, but I don't know. That'd be a bit strange. Two absolute large, classy donkeys up top, but be a bit weird. To Bottom Duda. But yeah, I don't rate Lautaro as much. I'd rather us go after someone else.
Yeah, so would I. And the reason, I think, just to sum it up, the reason why for me is I want a striker that I know if I see him warming up or coming off, there's a goal in him. Look, with Lautaro, you just don't know. It's 50-50. You don't know whether you're going to get a goal or whether he's not going to take his chance. I want a striker where I know they're going to take their chance. And you can get them lower in the Premier League. You can get these sort of strikers. They will come to Tottenham. And for me, I'd rather look at something like that than a Lautaro. Plus, I think we'll be overpaying for Lautaro. No matter what you spend on him, he's probably going to require about 40 million, 50 million. I think it's way overpaying for a guy like that, to be honest. But I know the Bottom Dude is a big fan of the guy. Big up the Bottom Dude. I'm sorry to crush your dreams on Lautaro, but I do not like him. But big up, my man. And I hope you're keeping well. I really do. Big yourself up. And you said you don't belong in our group chat. You belong in our group chat. And if anybody else wants into the group chat, email us and we'll send you on the link and get yourself in. All you got to do is download WhatsApp. But look, we'll get on the last guest of the evening. He's been sitting there waiting patiently. I've even seen him crack open a beer and listen to this. That's absolutely madness. But look, let's get him on. I really like him. He really brought the in-depth analysis on the formations last week. I absolutely really loved it. So look, let's get him on. And it is the one and only the return of Michael.
Return of the Michael.
Oh, that sounds glorious.
Return of the Mac. That's what we're going to say for him now. Return of the Mac. How are you, my man?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to prepare for today, so more of a free flow from me. But
let's see how Michael can handle free fall. I love it. Let's get some free flow of Michael in the building. So look, we'll start with an easy one. What was your thoughts on the game at the weekend, man?
Yeah, actually, I will disappoint you because I didn't see it. Unfortunately, because me and my girlfriend rode through the whole country to her home place. And sorry, I used Google Translate here, so maybe something won't be right, but it was her goddaughter's first communion. Like it's
wow, I think that was spot on, my man. I think that was
I think that should be right. But yeah, so as you know, Poland is a Catholic country, it's a really big occasion here. And of course, it's her goddaughter, so that's also why we drove there. And funnily enough, you know, because right now I live in the south western part of Poland, and her hometown is in the southeastern part, and it's easier for us to drive right to the middle of the country and then go down this way than it's to
Wow.
drive through the south part, because it's so overcrowded here in the south parts that you literally can't drive more than like fucking 30 miles an hour, because you know
You
there
were
is too much
trekking this
traffic.
weekend. You were traveling this weekend then a lot.
I did like what 650 kilometers today, so you know I am kind of tired, but you know a beer helps
That
me.
beer is well deserved, lad. Fucking well deserved. Chuck it back, my man. Go and get another
Is that
one
a
if you need
Tisky?
to.
Is that a
it's
Tisky?
yes,
Oh,
of
I
course.
miss Tisky. I love Tisky. I love
How do you
Tisky.
pronounce
I
it?
miss
Because over here we say Taishki. So how do you actually pronounce it?
So
You can settle
Tiske,
this.
Tiske.
Tishki.
Yeah, I know it's not like the most like logical way to pronounce things, but you know it's Polish, so it will always surprise you, right?
Yeah,
Tisky.
yeah.
No, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite beers in general. Honestly, in general, I love Tisky.
Oh,
But
that's honestly surprising.
I think it's actually quite good. I actually think it's quite tasty. It's very consistent. But
Yeah, actually, I almost finished with this one, but you know,
maybe something Levy will serve up in the stadium sometime soon to get the transfer budget up a bit more. But you didn't see the game, but you saw probably the result. I would imagine, Michael.
yeah.
What does that
Yes,
result tell you? Does that
I was
result give
looking
you
at
confidence?
I was looking at the mobile phone during like the whole, you know, the whole celebrations, etc. So yeah, I was following it, and unfortunately, I also followed the Arsenal result. But in terms of our game, I of course I've seen the highlights, and you know, you guys spoke plenty about. Like even though the Kulusevski sub was really impactful and Romero was brilliant, we still had those problems with left side of our defense. I think the Davis made an awful mistake, right? I think that let's not even talk about wings, but you know I'm really happy that we broke the bad streak, even if that streak was only 2 games. But you know, a win, especially at that part is really that part of the season is really important for me, because you know, like I was getting kind of down watching the past 2 games, and finally, like they showed something good. One really important thing I want to point out is that Sonny's goal is finally a goal out of the box. Like I think we spoke about it. We weren't really taking shots from outside the box at all, pretty much. And you know, like if you have someone of Kane's and Son's quality, like just ping it, man. Just
Where was
try.
that against Brentford and Brighton, right? You're
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah.
Just call for the shots outside the
Yeah,
box.
at least you would have a shot on target, right? If you landed it properly, right? Even if keeper saved it. But you know, you are working the keeper, and you are by shooting from distance, you are making the defense. They have to come out to stop your shots, right?
Yeah.
And you know that's also a point. That's also a way to break the low block. But you know, yeah, I was really happy with Son's goal, with both of his goals, of course. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Liverpool game, even though like I'm not confident at all. And I think that's a good thing because I don't have any expectations towards this game, so I can be pleasantly surprised. And if we lose, I won't be feeling down, right? Yeah, but you know, funnily enough, because I cracked open a beer and I was playing FIFA and listening to your guys' stream, right? And like I have this one career save where I basically went nuts with transfer budget and rebuild its Spurs completely. And you know, I have like something mad like Barella, Bellingham, and Højbjerg in the midfield and like things like that, right?
Still keeping
delicious.
Højbjerg.
Yeah. I kept Højbjerg.
Man
I
after
kept
my own heart with that one, Michael. Kept
I
Højbjerg around. I love it.
I kept the front three, Højbjerg and Romero, and pretty much the rest of them I changed. But you know, I was looking at that squad and I thought to myself, like Liverpool's is pretty much like similar to that, right? Because you know, I have so much quality on my bench in that career mode that I can just substitute Son for Bergwijn, who is like 92 rated in my career or something mad like that. It's pretty much no difference between the two players. That I think Liverpool can pretty much do the same, right? Maybe not to that extent, of course, but their squad is really mad, and but as I said last time, I think that our play style fits fighting the teams like Liverpool, because they
You
will
said
have.
that. You said that the last day that for the next 3 games, the way they play will actually suit us.
Yeah. I feel like, in terms of Arsenal, I will speak about them a bit later. But in terms of Liverpool, their high line can be their demise, and City showed that. Even though they, funnily enough, they lacked quality to finish the chances they got, right? Because like in that match in the Premier League, they should probably score like 3 to 4 goals. I think like Jesus wasted like a sitter, and I think that Mahrez also wasted one.
Yeah.
And so we can play similar type of football, of course, but we have way worse defense, not the right side of it, but the left side of it.
Yeah.
And let's not kid ourselves, we won't keep a clean sheet in this game, and if we do, I will be pleasantly surprised again. But as you said, David, I think that the key is scoring first here.
Yeah.
It's the similar situation as with City. I think that if we didn't score so early against City and we let the goal in, like in that 30 minutes mark, the heads would drop, and I don't think we would have won that game. And I really like the narrative of us taking away the Liverpool trophy, just because we gave them hope, and now we will take it back. And all the things about the Champions League final, it was just be perfect. And actually, I think that quadruple is a thing that no team should ever achieve, in my opinion. Like it would be nice if no team ever did that. Of course, like maybe in 100 years when we all would be dead. So by then, of course, but of course, I don't wish anyone to be dead by 100 years.
Mad when you say that? Back in the day, even back in the 90s, early 2000s, that wouldn't have happened. United winning the treble was such a rarity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seen as like the pinnacle, like quadruple. If it happens now, I mean, I really hope it doesn't. I mean, I want to piss all over their parade. I hope we're the start of their downfall, to be honest with you.
I mean, how recently has it happened, though, in the Premier League? Like, it hasn't happened even recently in the Premier League, so it just doesn't happen in general. I don't even know if there is an era that you could point to as to when it was happening. In fact, the era that it was happening was sort of the Man United Ferguson era, you could say, was maybe the closest
I think
that it ever happened, but it hasn't ever happened since then.
Probably United was the closest to ever achieving.
I guess the other team that does it is like Bayern. Like is the other team that have like a triple or quadruple.
Actually, maybe they have a quadruple. I don't know, but at least in terms of English teams, I hope that no English team ever achieves it, because they just won't ever shut up about it. Their fans, right? Like, imagine if Liverpool fans actually got to see their team winning a quadruple. Like, you would never hear the end of it, right?
It broke my heart, Michael. It broke my heart when they won the league, because I was enjoying their pain so much. I was absolutely relishing it. I used to love seeing them cry. It broke my heart when they won the league.
Actually, because personally I really hate City, just because of the money thing. Like, even though I don't like Liverpool, I can appreciate like their brilliance and what Klopp is doing, and how he's like gathering those players that probably no one ever heard about, and suddenly they are world class. So I can appreciate that, and that's the reason probably why, if the Champions League final would be like between City and Liverpool, I probably would prefer Liverpool to win it. Just because I don't want City and PSG to ever win the CL. I know it will happen eventually, but as long as it doesn't happen, it kind of proves something about the beauty of football, that money in the end doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that I would prefer Liverpool to win the Champions League, and that's why I think that they should lose FA Cup and Premier League. And I still think that they will lose Premier League even if they won against us, just because City has that 1 point ahead of them, and their fixtures are as easy as Liverpool's after our game, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't want them to win the quadruple. That's pretty much it. And if it's us that stops them, fucking great.
I hope we do. I mean,
do you like this built-up revenge? Do you like this boiled-up revenge that Dark Sun G? I think you said you did. That Dark Sun G is talking about. Where it's all built up to this one stage where we thought that Liverpool thought that we've been doing them favors this whole time, only for us to take away the quadruple right when they need us most.
Yeah, I honestly really like shithousery in football. Like I would love it if it was us who stopped them. And now coming to Arsenal game, like the most perfect scenario I could ever imagine is like Romero or Højbjerg scoring like a brilliant header and
Yeah.
just running through the whole pitch towards the away end and doing this
Oh,
to the
I'd
fans.
love it.
Yeah, I would just I would just scream my pants in that moment. Like you know, I love things like that. I love how spiteful Romero can be. Like you know, when he hacked down Richarlison. Of course, I don't want to wish any harm to that player, but I just love seeing like this aggression, this passion, because you know plenty of people talk about players like not being so associated with their clubs, like they are not feeling that same things that players used to feel even back like 20 years ago, with like Roy Keane being the captain of United for the whole of his life, and etc. Right? So I just love when players show passion, like you know when they kiss the badge, you know when they just enjoy playing in front of their fans, and you know those things just bring a smile to my face. And in terms of Arsenal game, like you know there is a couple of things that worry me. Like I am afraid about like Davies keeping tabs on Saka, but you know I just feel like their defense is bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Pretty much as bad as ours, right? Not including Romero. But our front three is like godlike, and I think that we should be able. Sorry, beer and I'm burping, right? Yeah, and I think that we should be able to rip them apart in the final third.
You think the front three will be too much for them?
Yeah, I just honestly can't see like Ben Scheidt like keeping tabs on Kane and Son and Kulu. Like if Kane does what he if Kulu does what he did at Leicester, like who the fuck is stopping him in that team? Yeah, and you know I'm
who's
just
that guy Tavares? He's shit defensively. He's okay going forward, but he is shit defensively.
Yeah,
he's all over the shop. Tommy asked as well. I don't rate him either. I'm glad we didn't get him.
Yeah, you know, I kind of have a soft spot for Tomiyasu before, of course, he went to Arsenal, because like there was a lot of hype about him joining us. So you know, I watched a lot of his like highlights, and you know, got to know what kind of a player he is, and I respect how he came through to be a player he is, right? But you know, of course, he went to Ars, so he's gone now. But you know, he's not that good to keep tabs on Sony. I don't think so, and I hope it doesn't bite me in the ass, all of the things that I said right now. But you know, in my opinion, just like even if we don't get top 4 this season, and this is the thing that I said last week, like don't get yourself down. Just be happy about us even being in the challenge, like. Because when the season started with Nuno, I was writing everything off, like saying it would be good if we got Conference League, if we got 7th, and maybe did something in the Conference League, so maybe we would get Europa. But it was all if, buts, and maybes. And you know, just the fact that we have Conte here, and all the reports that we are hearing from like journalists about Tottenham actually willing to back Conte. You know, of course, it's like money grabbing in a sense, because you know that it was just something catchy that everyone will click, and to see like a journalist saying that Conte will be back, and suddenly we are in August, Conte is gone, Kane is gone, and fucking everything is shit, right? But you know, of course I hope it won't happen. But one good thing also about this whole thing is that there are rumors about us selling Regi and us selling Bergwijn, and I think it's good because it shows a bit of ruthlessness from the board, which we haven't seen for like past 10 years, because like we had shit players and we kept hold of them, even though we should sell them way ago. Like, let's be honest, Dyer, Davies, and players like that shouldn't be at the club at this point.
Yeah.
If we were serious about like
I agree. How can you look? Okay, they've had a good season this season, over the course of the season, but how can you let such mediocrity go on for so long? You're talking not 2, 3, 4 years. You're talking nearly 7, 8 years. It's madness.
Yeah, like when a lot of people were bigging up Davies and Dyer, of course I was too, because if they perform well, of course I should pick them up because they did their job properly. But a lot of people tend to forget that those are still the same players that we used to hate like half a year ago, and all of us wanted them gone from the club. Like,
oh, I still do.
Many, of course I do too, but not to that extent that I used to, like half a year ago or a year ago, right? Because like the sheer sight of Dyer when Mourinho was here was actually driving me mad. Like, I love your nickname, Moonboots. Like,
it is. It's because he can't kick a ball properly. He sends it into fucking outer space.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hopeful, even if we don't get top 4. Of course, I want to get top 4. Like, it would be perfect to hear the Champions League anthem on our stadium, our stadium.
Yes.
Sorry, and just the whole soft and rocking, and just that energy and passion that comes with Champions League. Even if we bottle it and like don't go out of the groups, and just for the sheer fact that money comes with it and emotion come with it. And actually, one good thing also I think that can happen to Tottenham is, even if we dropped out of the group, if we dropped out of 3rd place, I think that our squad has a really great potential to win Europa League. Like, honestly, we should have won. We probably should have won Europa League with Mourinho, but that Zagreb thing happened, and that was probably like one of the worst days of my life.
That was depressing.
I
just didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming, and that's what depressed me most about that one. I just could not see it coming.
Yeah, just 3 screamers from a guy whose name I don't even remember now, right?
And he just
what? Something like that. And I didn't see it coming. Like, I was 2-0 up, job done, just go there. You don't even have to win, just draw. Like 0-0. It can be a shitty game, and suddenly like they score absolute blinders, and and we are out. And actually, because that Liverpool game in I think it was in December that we lost 2-1 to a Firmino header. That was the beginning of downfall. But I think that the Zagreb game was like a nail in the coffin, and everything was gone pretty much after that point. So like it's a bright future ahead if our board decides to act. And I honestly, because I've spoke about it a couple of times. I'm from abroad, so I can't really relate to like all the in London stuff that some of the callers talk about, like the price of beers, or the revolution in Tottenham area, and all of that. Like, I can't relate because I didn't see with my own eyes. But I can relate to footballing things, and actually I struggle to believe that Levy would be that stupid not to back Conte, in at least in some way. Like, because he's a businessman, he's a millionaire. Like, he had to earn that somehow, right? Because it's not like a family thing. Because if it's a family thing, then maybe you could argue if he can be stupid. But if he got to that level of money, he's a businessman. He isn't that stupid. He knows what consequences will happen if he doesn't back Conte, what backlash he will have in the stadium, right? I've said, like, if he doesn't back Conte, just bring out the pitchforks and torches and just burn this fucking stadium to the ground, because like that's the reaction that our fans should have if something like this happens. But at least I think he isn't that stupid, and he probably will back Conte. And like everything points to this, at least in my opinion, in some ways, at least. Like all the articles about him being backed, and I just really love Conte. Like, I love his passion, and I feel like he really likes being a face of a club in some point. In some form.
Loves that.
Like, of course, I know it was a PR thing, but after he left Inter and he didn't accept the job with Spurs, he said something about being really emotional after leaving Inter, right? And I honestly believe him that it played some part in him not wanting to join, just because like he gets so invested into the culture of the club and changing it,
I agree.
and thus it becomes like part of him in a sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like he can feel the project here. He can feel like the frustration of fans, the frustration of players, because of course he talked with Son and Kane and all the other players, right? And they have to be like pointing out to him that, you know, I'm the best player in the Premier League and I can't fucking win anything, right? Not
Yeah.
Carabao Cup, not FA Cup, not Premier League, no European trophies through all that time. And I think that he likes this atmosphere. He's a bit like sick in the head,
Yeah.
but but you know that's good in my opinion, because like every content that our YouTube channel posts is perfect for me.
100%.
agree.
100%.
I'll take it a step further just quickly, Michael. I'll just take it a step
Yeah,
further.
yeah.
My thought is that Conte was so broken up about Inter because he was probably maybe thinking about settling down with Inter for a bit longer than he was with most clubs. People talk about, they say, oh, Conte, he'll leave, you know, in a split second, which I think is true. But I have this sneaky suspicion that Conte is looking for a club to kind of settle down with for at least 4 years, is what I imagine, for at least 4 years. I think he was going to be doing that with Inter. It just, the finances and everything just went out the door, and then he just couldn't feasibly do it anymore. And then it took him a little while to find a new home, and I don't think he was ready to make that move right away. Like you said, he was still a bit broken up about Inter, and perhaps the way that he's seen as like a god, seen as like an idol, you know, seen as like the man at Tottenham, maybe that is what's kind of maybe convincing him that this is the place to stay for a while. That's my theory as well. I think you and I, you know, have a similar suspicion and a similar hope, you know, hopefully.
He's just so honest about everything that he says. Like I don't see him lying to fans and saying things the way they aren't, right? Like if he called out players, he did it because they were shit and, you know, they performed not up to his standards, and he said that, right? If he was saying something about the board, because he called out the board like a couple of months ago, right? Not in a like a harsh way, but he said that, you know, club has to match his ambitions, and you know he's just honest about it. You know, I am here. You pay me the money, so back me, and I will win you things. And I love this attitude about him. And actually, because you just said about like him leaving Inter, I think that the situation with Chelsea and Juventus were kind of similar. Like I know that he had a huge falling out with the Chelsea board, right? That's why he left, not because he was just upset about something, but because they didn't want to back him or they didn't want to buy players that he wanted. There was something like this happening with Juventus. I'm not sure, because I think he did like what Juve, Italy, and Juve. And then it was Chelsea, Inter, and now us, something like this. And most of his jobs, he actually quit them because they didn't want to back him. And I feel like if he gets a backing here, and you know we spent like what 100 million in this window, like that is realistically including the outgoings. I feel like he can build something here, and he won't need another million in January, 100 million in January, and he won't need another 100 million in the next summer. He will just, like, you know, plug the holes, the players that didn't work for him, and just because of this, I feel like Spurs can be his home if we play. We, of course, by we I mean our club. If our club plays things correctly, right? Just buy him Kostic, just buy him De Vrij. Even if you aren't going to make money after selling them, just fill his wishes, and he will bring you trophies. Like, you know, like when you throw a penny into the fountain and you know you are wishing something. Just make a wish,
it will
and
come
he's
true
the
this
fountain.
time.
And it will come true. And I am really excited about the next year. Of course, if the summer goes well, right?
Same here. I'm super excited, my man. Super excited. But look, Michael, we'll leave it there, my man. Really appreciate you coming on. Great chat as always, brother. Great chat as always. Go and enjoy a few more beers and a few more games of FIFA.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. here, so I will probably like be getting to sleep soon. But actually, one more. Yeah, probably.
Why not? Why not that?
Why
Why
not?
One more, few more career
long
mode
job.
games, my man. One more, few more career mode games. Call it a good night. There you
Yeah,
go.
my missus is already asleep, so
There you go.
she
That's
doesn't
free
give a
reign,
fuck if
man.
I sleep
Exactly.
for an
There you
hour
are, my
more.
man. It's calling out for a few more games. But look, Michael, we'll speak to you again soon, my man. Big
Yeah,
yourself
see you
up.
guys.
Well done, Michael.
See you, Michael.
Really well done. Catch you, brother.
Everybody give Michael a lot of love in the comments. Absolutely
Oh, he
brilliant
deserves it.
discussions
He
as
deserves
always.
it.
Yeah, I love him.
He's been running the shows as well, Dave. Like, to be honest, like, he runs it for us. He said he didn't even have a script, and he was running it for us. Like, so I would say, Michael, don't even need the script, my man. Don't even need it, brother. You don't even need it.
Yeah, big up, Michael. Big up. Faz Radfar says my €20 on bets on Sun from before Christmas is still alive. Man, you've been putting in stuff about Harry Kane. Come on, you can't keep, what other bets do you have on? You must have bets on all of the front three. Big up, Faz. Big up, Faz. But look, I hope he catches him, Faz. I really do hope he catches him.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
Don't worry about it, my man. And honestly, you just didn't at all. I would just say, don't even think about it that sort of way. And like I said, when we reach the end of the show, Michael, it's kind of what we're looking for. We just want someone just to take, the discussion, by the throat, just grab it, by the balls, just take the whole discussion. And that's what you did there, Michael, because by the end of it, I'll be honest, maybe a bit of an inside secret. Dave and I start to kind of run out of, the good questions, don't know how to phrase the same ones, in a better way. We kind of need a bit of inspiration, and you bring it, Michael. So I would say, don't even put that sort of word out there in the comments, my man. We needed you to do what you did, brother. Well done.
Yeah, no, big up, Michael. Great appearance, and never apologize. I mean, this is what it's here for. Spurs fans all across the world who want to come on and have their say. It's what it's here for, Michael. Never apologize for it, brother. Big yourself up. He says, and Faz says, my only other bet is €50 on Kane from before Christmas. But that's not, no, it's not. It's not. You may as well cover that one up, put it in the bin, use it as, for fire or something like that. But throw that one away. Sonny's going to be your man. He could catch him, could catch him. But look, Jack, before we end off, my man, it's been a very good show. But where can people find you?
Yes, everybody over on the Flat Cap. What do we got going on this week? We do have the watch along for the Real Madrid game. You have to be there Wednesday. It's just going to be a ridiculous game. Dave is going to be joining me for that watch along, so there's not even going to be a show going on here. Do stay tuned for Flat Cap. If you haven't subscribed already, now's your opportunity. There's no excuse now, because if you're going to be watching that Champions League and you're looking for somebody to watch it with us over on the flatcapeurotalk, everybody, as well. Lots of really good discussions that are happening weekly with Darius as well. Maybe might include that on Wednesday too. If we can do that, that would be nice. But lots going up on the channel as well. I'm thinking about putting up, a few more scout reports, maybe some players that people have requested, maybe not as much ones that, are related to Spurs. I'm thinking about doing Pedro Porro. People just in the comments are talking about Brereton Diaz. So players that maybe aren't exactly linked with Spurs, but people want to just learn about and know a bit more about. So that's what's up on the channel this week. If any of that sounds interesting to you, really would appreciate subscribe.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Get over there. Transfer window's right around the corner. You need that channel. Get over to Flat Cap Eurotalk, guys, and get on it. Honestly, you won't regret it. Any player Spurs are linked to it, there'll be something out about that you can guarantee. At the bottom, I just want to say big up to Danny Kiriakou in the chat as well. Big up, Danny. Good to see you, my man. The bottom, it says a man offering himself to PSG wouldn't celebrate every goal like that. I feel Spurs is a great employer and the fans love him. Conte will change Spurs to a top club. In Conte, we trust. Come on, you Spurs. No, 100%. I agree with you. Look, you look at the passion and the emotion in celebrations. I mean, that's what I want to see from a manager. Rather than someone just standing there or walking back to the seat, giving it a little pussy fist pump. I want to see pure passion, emotion. He's like a fan. If any one of us was standing there, we'd be running off screaming. And that's what I want to see from my manager. And there's what I am jealous of Liverpool is the rapport that the fans, the manager, and the player all have together. I would love to build that at Tottenham, and that's something Antonio Conte can definitely bring to the table. He can be the link between the club and the players and the fans, And for me, look, I've always said this. I think Conte can be the one to bring us to an elite superhouse, an elite European club. If not bring us there, at least build the foundations there to put us on the right path there. if we don't back them, we have no ambition to get into one of the elites. There's no point in building me a stadium and an elite training complex with a fucking 5-star hotel and everything else, with golf, putting greens and everything else, and waste it on someone like Harry Winks, who just is not improving beyond season upon season. So I agree with you. Look, we've got to back him this summer. If we don't back him this summer, I'm going to be fucking angry. I'll be furious, because if you're not going to back Conte, you're not going to back anybody. If they want to build something like Liverpool have, he's your man. You got to get it done. Jack, anything you want to say to the bottom?
I think the first part is maybe the part I'll hit on from the bottom Buddha here. I think that part is a mic drop. I mean, everybody gave really elaborate thoughts on, the PSG, either thinking they did believe the rumors or thinking they didn't. I gave a pretty elaborate explanation as to why I didn't. To be honest, I should have just said what the bottom Duda said right here. Would a guy that's really wanting to head over to PSG be celebrating like that, with the goals? Would a guy like that really be showing like the blood, sweat, and tears it looks like it takes, to get the results? It feels like he would have given up by now. Feels like he wouldn't even really be trying for top 4. Feels like he wouldn't get so pissed off, in the press conferences when he's asked questions like this. It feels like, he would be an entirely different personality, an entirely different person. And to bottom Duda, I wish I had this answer all along. This is a much better answer than I think anybody else has offered, to be honest, because if you had put it this way, Dave, imagine if you said that to somebody with the PSG rumors. It's like, well, for somebody that's celebrating the goals, when Harry Kane scores, seems like, well, why would be up to PSG if he's celebrating Harry Kane's goals like David is, on the sideline? So I think that's a mic drop, honestly. Dude, nothing more else to say. I think like that alone puts absolute water to the coals on that sort of rumor right there, my man. Absolutely. Well said. Really well said.
Big up the bottom, dude. I really appreciate that, my man. Absolutely well said. Big up, my man. Derek Smith. Sorry, I can't get my words out. I don't know what's going wrong with me. I'm fumbling everywhere. Derek Smith says, always a great show, gents. You know your stuff, always entertaining. I really appreciate that, my man. I really do. Look, a lot of people contest the part where, you say we know our stuff, but I like to think we do, and you think we do. So that's all that matters. Big up, Derek. Really appreciate that. Tovarsky.
Thank you,
says,
Tovar.
just subscribe to flatcapeurotalk.
Great name, too.
You guys. I love it.
Great name. Tovarsky. Love it. Absolutely love it. Also, maybe before we forget, and, we do all the other sort of stuff wrapping up, just want to say, really, really appreciate everybody that's been in the chat today, everybody that's just been putting in the comments, everybody that's dropped the like, and everybody that's also given to the channel today. It's really, really meant a lot to David and I. It's been really huge today, a lot more than what we're used to. And I think it's just been extremely generous. And also it really helps out a lot because we're just trying to, pound out the content as much as possible, give it to you guys practically daily. We're going to, build it up even more in the summer. There's tons of stuff coming out. We're not stopping here. It's only getting better. And the super chats and the memberships and everything, they really do help us keep going. And so I would say Chase Mullins, the bottom Duda, Dark Sun G, of course, and though plenty of others, not just them, but those three are unbelievable.
Chowdhury was there today.
Chowdhury, there were just so many that Aaron Dubb as well threw in one as well. Jerome threw in his, and Dermot did, Faz Radfar, so many more, and really, really means a lot to us, and it really does help us out a lot. And that's all. I just want to say maybe while it was on my mind, and thank you very much, everybody.
100%. Look, I'm only going to add to that slightly because Jack said it absolutely perfectly, so I won't bore you with adding to it too much. But look, of course, I share the same sentiment as Jack. You have no idea how much your support really helps us with everything we do here. And I want to say a massive, massive thank you as well. And look, long may it continue. Long may we keep producing new content and you guys keep supporting us. It's a massive, massive help. So really appreciate it, everybody. You have no idea how much it really helps us out. And big up, Anthony. Good night to you, my man. Big up, Toxic Headshot. Good to see you in. You're arriving as we're ending, but Toxic Headshot, good to see you in. And Patrick Campbell says, top guys use our come on, you Spurs. I appreciate that, Patrick. You're a top man. Really appreciate that, brother. And Rob Wallacense says, he's become a new YouTube member. So big up, my man. I really appreciate that,
my man.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Top man.
It helps a lot.
Look, guys,
helps a lot.
No, it really does. You guys are absolutely incredible. And look, like Jack said, there's a lot more coming out over the summer. And next season, It's just going to be content after content. Your boys will not be sleeping whatsoever. We love this club just as much as you. And look, let's keep supporting the club we love. A massive thank you to everybody. Get your comments in underneath. Let us know what you think of the show, discussion points, talk points, whatever. Aaron Dove, big up Aaron. He says, good show, boys. Up the Doves. He couldn't wait to get the Up the Doves in. But look, really appreciate the kind words on the show, Aaron. Good to have you back, my man. I hope you are keeping well. Up the Doves. Look, like I said, Aaron, hopefully we'll see you in the Leinster final. You've got Meath. You should be beating Meath, to be honest with you. They're your old rivals. You should be beating them. We've got Westmeath. We'll take out the two Meath counties and we'll go head-to-head up in Croker, my man. Cannot wait. Up Kildare. Come on. Kildare Avu. That's what we're talking about, my man. But everybody, a little bit of Irish there. Aaron got it out of me. But look, guys, everybody, we will see you back here tomorrow for the tactical breakdown. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we trust.
Come on, you Spurs. In Conte, we trust.